Start at your pleasure.
Welcome to the Console Gaming League from the rival tiers, the rival quarterfinal game, the final game of the playoffs against the 3rd seed Aspire and the 6th seed Paranoia. And this should be a really solid game. Aspire coming in, maybe a bit of a deceiving record, 5-3, but they did have to forfeit 2 of their games early on in the season. Games that they actually did win, and I know I've mentioned that a couple times. So really coming in, looking more like a 7-1 side and had a very strong season. Paranoia, on the other hand, creeping into that 6th seed spot after beating Ironclad in the wildcard game. And kind of able to slip into that 6th seed after losing 3 of their last 4 games of the season. The week 7 win was a bye, so maybe looking to get kind of reset a little bit. Hopefully they use the off week to get kind of back into a good position. Looking at Aspire's roster, really strong. Like I said, they do like to run a bit of a triple tank. We'll see what they decide to run tonight, but they've got Tosh and Chimera God on hoodies, who I'm not sure if we'll play in this game, but Halo Spartan, one more hit, Eddie Smurfy, a lot of members that they've had throughout this season. And yeah, so we can definitely expect a lot there from Aspire. For Paranoia, a bit of a more traditional comp, I believe. With you've got the dive here, Winston Diva, Doomfist, Constant Entity, a lot of fun to watch, so looking forward to that. And Widowmaker, Mercy Lucio. We'll see, again, if that's the comps they decide to run throughout these kind of quarterfinal matches, but we'll see what they have for us. Your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Headrammer, and I know as we are about to start this game, Headrammer, what do you think we can expect from both these sides?
So I expect to see some interesting strats. I know, like, we saw Paranoia running a little bit of interesting strategies when they were playing Ironclad in their tiebreaker game earlier, where you saw them running like the protect the bastion strat on a control point. And I'm actually expecting some interesting stuff from them, because I know Aspire is a very, very good team, and not that Paranoia is not, but I think gonna need them catch them off guard a little bit to kind of gain that advantage. Now this is one of those maps with those really long sight lines, especially this first point here, so I'm expecting to see a little bit of Widowmaker, especially if you're on the defense, potentially on the offense as well. And kind of Ryan Zarya has kind of been a staple nowadays on for a lot, excuse me, for a lot of tank meta, so I expect to see that as well. Now also, if you do see the kind of Widowmaker, a lot of times you kind of run the Mercy with her, just to kind of like help do the help pocketing the Widowmaker. But has also been kind of stable, so we can kind of see that go a little bit back and forth. But it looks like right now, we are seeing a little bit of double sniper action here on the side of Paranoia. And those double snipers can be a pain to deal with, especially if you're only running a single sniper on the opposite side. Because you normally, as a sniper, have to deal with, you know, kind of playing line of sight and finding out where the other sniper is to take them out. When you have to do the same thing times 2, it can be incredibly difficult to counter snipe 2 other snipers. Let's see how both teams do that. But both teams are actually running a Bridget. That's interesting.
Yeah, for the defenders, it's Aspire that'll defend first. Tosh here on the Reinhardt, one more hit. Okay, the Fire Strike on Constant Entity and forcing the res early on. Eternal Isles also joining on the tank, playing Zarya Gameragot on Zenyatta. Eddie Smurfy going Hanzo Purple Kid on the Mercy. Purple Kid not mentioned in that original 6 that we posted earlier, but definitely a strong player in this side, has played quite a few roles in support, and immediately right off the bat, Tosh getting right to with a couple kills. I believe that's 3rd of the game after the Fire Strike early, and Aspire cleaning up immediately in the first 30 seconds.
The Widow.
Ooh,
Widow
yeah, the other direction
though. Far.
Yeah, getting some good looks, and with that short respawn, it's definitely going to be an advantage for Paranoia. Looking for a few more kills, now the payload starts to move.
Aggro. Almost like too confident there.
A little enthusiastic, but coming back through. The attacker still kind of getting a little bit of momentum now. You see Bloodfog here with about 90% charge and Zarya. It's looking really good. For the rest of the attackers, Ogilio on the Widow, OBG, who got those 2 early picks to kind of set this attack in motion. Here comes a shadow, though, from Tosh right into his opposite Reinhardt. There's the pin, and Ryan goes down. Aspire starting to kind of settle back in here and push the attackers back, who now don't have that shield to hide behind. Constant Entity here on the Doomfist, getting a kill on Eddie Smurfy. Trying to maybe answer a little bit back from Paranoia, kind of in the back, getting a good punch on the Chimera God. Finally gets caught out there, but was able to get a couple kills. And again, you know, those late kill or late fight kills, able to clean up a little bit further and continue to allow Paranoia to push forward. Graviton's coming from both sides now. Nice Transcendence just to completely protect Aspire. Good move there from Chimera God. And yeah, Spire able to handle that team fight comfortably.
Yeah, you gotta see like how difficult it can be to push forward in these team fights. Like obviously when you lose a person, but even more so when you're losing your main tank. You saw right there, Paranoia in the original fight, it was kind of one long extended one. They lost their main tank so early on, and then they were no longer able to push at all with it. Looks like they switched over to a Pharah now instead of a Widow.
A couple ultimates coming in from Paranoia now.
Point
the
blank
Doomfist
dragon
wasn't quite able to hit him. The dragons from Eddie Smurfy will catch Vexside though to shatter. After I think Vexside was rezzed, comes back up rather, and I think the defender's starting to clean up once more. Paranoia has a little bit of momentum going, but then I feel like Aspire's able to absorb their ultimates a little bit more. I think all ultimates used in that last fight, rather all available. But you're right, the fair swap could definitely help. I think able to get the damage over the top instead of the Widow into the shield seems to be working well for Paranoia. And you already see OBG up in the air, kind of pushing back the defenders further and creating that space with Vexside here just to help Paranoia get back into point.
Ooh, okay. Do get rid of the main tank, so that is good for them.
Important rally here for one more hit.
Off.
Purple Kid was in a very low position. Constantity here on the Hanzo, kind of giving that Mercy some issues. But was able to get to the rally and actually was eliminated. Able to eliminate Constantity, and that's big for the defenders. That fight's going to be won. 43 seconds now for Paranoia, trying to get back onto the point. 3 ultimates for the defenders, including Gameraga's Transcendence. Used well last time to protect during the Graviton from Blood Fog. Again, Spire's pushing in very quickly. Here comes a shadow from the Vexside, though, right into the room, and I think catches a couple. See if they can really maximize these. It's another Transcendence.
Oh,
I think it just kind of protects a little bit, but Eddie Smurfy goes and does the Dragon Strike the other direction. Was that Gameragat again with the Transcendence to avoid the shatter? Oh, I couldn't tell why he popped that.
Well, there's really Transcendence in there. I'm not fully sure either. I think maybe he thought it was their dragon.
Oh, that's possible, yeah.
They're gonna have to get over the point here.
And Vexside doing just that, getting into the point very quickly. Here comes a Graviton, though, that catches a lot of the defenders. There's the Dragon Strike directly through a triple kill for Constantity, and Paranoia comes storming back onto the point.
Oh, Mercy did break back a Ryan, though. That could be bad.
Yeah, able to get the res off. Still has some issues with OBG in the air. Finally able to take down that Mercy. It's just Ryan left. Tosh in overtime trying to contest, but it won't fall there for Aspire, and Paranoia I think will cap this checkpoint right here at the death.
That was really scary. You had Mercy or Raven the Wolf just like kind of sitting on point, contesting it for a while to allow him to push forward.
Ooh, maybe a little bit of miscommunication here. One more hit. Lucio here for Aspire, caught way out now, and finally does get staggered by Bloodfog. We'll have the long spawn as Paranoia start to push this payload. They'll have the advantage in the midsection. Few ultimates to work with as well.
I think it's a lot harder for them to like hold close than if they didn't push forward and go down the 2 people. It looks like they're not pushing too hard right now. They're kind of just like zoning them out at the moment. But just fair, just laying down all his damage. Already has another ultimate.
Yeah, looking for a good spot to use it. There's a Dragon Strike, though, from the attackers preemptively. Eddie Smurfy able to take OBG out of the air before the threat really kind of became an issue. Another Transcendence here from Gameragat.
Oh, a lay trance.
And again, couldn't tell exactly what that was for, but another one out from the Zenyatta. The Dragon Strike coming through from the defenders. Can't really do much, and the attack continues to roll with a payload. 1 minute and 30 seconds. They're already right up on the B checkpoint. Eternal Idols maybe thinks about contesting, but I don't think there's the numbers for it. And they'll have to concede that point.
Losing that trance was kind of a bad thing at the time, but also for some reason we just talked about why the trance was used. I'm not really sure why the Valkyrie was used by Raven the Wolf there. So I guess it's not as bad of a trade as it could have been for Aspire, now that Sport Alts were traded. But still, kind of maybe a little bit of lack of awareness of where the fight was.
Another Dragon Strike from the attackers. Constantity looking for a couple finds too, and then gets the kill into Tosh. It's a triple kill here for Constantity. Solid play from the Hanzo.
They're looking much more solid than since they got past the little chokeway on first point.
Yeah, really struggled with that first point, obviously capping in overtime, but looking really good in the midsection. Obviously, again, they were able to get the stagger onto Lucio, which I think helped give them some momentum going into the B checkpoint. But yeah, continuing to roll here, I expect Aspire to be able to kind of hold them for a bit. Here comes the defensive Graviton that catches a few. Kill feed starts going blue a little bit.
Cancels the Lucio ult.
And not quite able to get the sound barrier off that certainly would have saved them. Constantity still putting in the damage in from behind. It's another Dragon Strike here from this Hanzo. directly into a tight area, but I don't think anybody's back there. Now the only one trying to contest this point with Raven the Wolf. I think they'll have to retreat. Just regroup with the rest of Paranoia.
Yeah, man, actually, they still have like a minute and a half to push this through here. They're sitting on the Shatter. You can do Shatter Barrage. Defense is really just sitting on, I guess, Shatter Dragon rid it off. So actually, the defense does have a little bit ultimate advantage now.
That's a Valkyrie up from Raven the Wolf. I think the rally from one more hit. There comes the Shatter. There's the Rocket Barrage from, only able to get the one though, on the Chimera God. Looks like they're going to be combined a little bit tighter, but backside now in the top spot still has the Valkyrie from Raven the Wolf, who's going to keep that Reinhardt up a little bit longer. One more hit in the fray, kind of having a solo fight with Constant Entity, wins that one in the back. Payload now just with one attacker on it, Vexside, who I think was trying to use that pin to get out. Just, it's not quite able to get the pin on Suet. I thought Eternal Isles was going down there. Too long a pin, but still the defense continues to hold now under 60 seconds for Aspire. Just the Dragon Strike again. Constant Entity's been earning those very quickly, but what were you about to say?
Yeah, looks like they switched off the fair and went to the McCree now for Paranoia.
Yeah, interesting choice there. What do you think the logic is behind that switch? I know that this is kind of a difficult section to play Pharah. Why the McCree?
Yeah, I suspect it's they want to put a little more pressure on the main tank of Aspire, and they okay, that transcendence was actually pretty good.
That was a
time,
fantastic transcendence.
Not a little bit late, yeah. But, unfortunately, the numbers were already in their favor. Oh, just deleting Aspire Isles with that Shatter. And
I like the aggression here from Vexside.
Yeah.
Tosh with a nice charge to try and cancel him out, but then he does go down. I think the attackers have the numbers here. It's a Dragon Strike the other direction, directly into the point. Nice sound barrier from Steven just to keep everybody up.
Oh, it's on.
Wow. That is impressive. Paranoia capping the map, all 3 points after starting out very unconvincingly on the first section, it must be said, but then coming back through the midsection looked really solid. That third point, just aggressive attack, and able to cap that. In overtime, albeit, but I mean on a payload that doesn't really matter, right? As long as you cap the map.
Yeah, I think just maybe they just need to get warmed up a little bit, kind of get in the flow of things. I mean, because when you start these games out, you know, you have a little bit of those nerves. Maybe you weren't fully warmed up, and you just kind of need to get back in the flow of playing in that kind of team environment. And when things go over a wall for a little while, you can kind of get in your own head about it. But then when things start rolling, you know, everything's all good. Sometimes teamwork just like all clicks and everything works, and it's kind of what you need. You need that kind of like breakaway and that chance to kind of get the ball moving. But it looks like we are potentially seeing a pirate ship here now from Aspire. I know Aspire has been known to run the pirate ship strategy pretty successfully using double shields. We saw them run their pirate ship against Shimada Amada on Route 66, where they ran triple shield. They ran an Orisa, a Rhine, and a Bridget to protect the Bastion.
Wow. Seems
and I think they capped all 3 points of 66 with like 3 minutes left. It was a ridiculous amount of time. They're definitely tested in this strategy. So now they switch over to the Czar. Now I'm being debated over and over again with all these switches. Okay, they are doing the same thing. They're doing a triple shield, a pirate ship strategy.
Triple shield. This is an interesting comp. Obviously, you've got enough, you know, bodies here to feed the Ana, so you get the nano so quickly. Purple Kid can obviously provide quite a bit of healing. You could probably see. I guess you wouldn't even really need a Lucio at this point, but you'd at least have the AOE healing then. Regardless, not really an issue for them. Is to start to push the payload pretty strongly here. It's a nice kind of set back defense from Paranoia, and actually. Oh, there we go. Vexside coming over the top. I was about to say they were kind of being a little bit too timid here and just allowing the payload to continue pushing. Obviously, it's tough with the Bastion proving difficult still. Chimera God finally does go down via Constant Entity, but they obviously spend the res onto, actually, both res is gone now.
He mounts on top of a shield. He went to his mount on a shield.
Now
yeah, this is pretty
starting
good.
to clean up a little bit, though.
It's pretty much what you gotta do with this kind of composition. You need to, like, burst down that Bastion, get him off any way you can, and then you gotta hard commit to it, and then prevent him from getting rebounded. So they get reset up, then you have the same problem again. It can be very difficult sometimes to get past all that sustained damage from Bastion.
Yeah, and I like that already recognizing that it's difficult to set the pirate ship back up if you fail. So switching immediately, Chimera God now over to the Diva, and they're triple tanking still with the Brigitte. I like that. Not really with the spam you've got from Big Leo in the air and Constantity here in the Hanzo in the back. But you're exactly right about contesting the Bastion, prioritizing that first. They did that, got the res off, but then still went back directly into the Bastion. So really solid defense there from Paranoia in the first engagement. Coming into this second, Vexside again charging through. Few support ultimates coming out. There's the Shatter though from the defenders. Rolling through now with the Valkyrie behind them, but there's a Valkyrie from the defense as well. They'll use that to get the res back up onto Tosh, who's about 4% from a shatter of his own. They'll have to be careful. If he finds a gap with the shield, it could be catastrophic. Now Big Leo in the back trying to use the Rocket Barrage directly into a defense matrix from, I believe that's Camarigod.
Oh, yeah, the nanoed Bridget. And actually there was so many, there was actually a good bit of ultimates used there on the defense by Paranoia, but not really a whole lot to show for it. They didn't really combo them all. They kind of used them like one at a time. Because going to that, Aspire had switched pretty much the entire composition. Or at least a lot of their composition. But also they're coming here for the recontest.
Very late contest. I didn't expect that coming, but here comes the defensive Graviton. The Dragon Strike coming through, catches 3. Able to get a couple kills. Camarigod gets a double on both tanks. You got to expect that Aspire is still going to be able to cap this point, but for a second there, it looked like the contest might come off. If they were able to get a few more kills with that Dragon Strike, it might have gone another direction, but a solid double kill from Camarigod with the Diva self-destruct kind of ended that immediately. If you're going to get 2 picks, the 2 tanks are going to be ideal.
So now 3 minutes and 44 seconds. One Diva bomb.
Yeah, really, honestly, I think that bomb doesn't go the way they want it to, and Paranoia might be able to clean up there, but regardless, Camarigod with a solid double. And again, that was the Bastion play, so I like that they didn't keep the Bastion switched, ended up working out for them in the long run. Vexside, the only one on the board with an ultimate, has a Shatter. Eternal Isles for the other side, right behind here for Aspire, but a quick pick
the pin.
In. A nice bubble, though, from Bloodfog, I think, keeps Vexside up and able to get the pin on his opposite Tosh, who's in a very difficult spot now. There comes the Shatter, catches a couple, but he did not catch the Reinhardt, and Vexside will drop for his trouble. Yeah, Bloodfog does his best. Yeah, Vexside actually back up. Raven's able to get that res off.
Oh, he got slept.
Vexside in deep, though. I'm not sure if that's the pin you want in that position. Can't really get back to his healers. And Aspire is going to continue pushing, but
probably regroup.
Yeah. Constant over on the Doomfist. 1v4. Not going to survive that when the silhouettes of the defense coming back, and you expect another contest from them on the doorstep of B. That's about all they have time for, but they've got Steven here with the Lucio to try and get them there quickly.
Or even if they don't, able to hold it, at least run out there, spend nothing, and force them to spend their ults to determine it.
Yeah, doing just that now. It's the attackers with the Purple Kid of Valkyrie up. A Shatter coming through from Tosh. I don't actually think caught anybody. I think it went directly into a Shatter, or the shield rather. There comes a Shatter the other direction. Tosh is nanoed, but got caught there. Sound barrier from Steven, keeping the defense from Paranoia up. They're getting a few of these kills, though.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I think Paranoia's going to wrap this up.
A little bit expensive, but at the same time, you were able to make it so that Aspire also invested a few ultimates. They still keep their grab and bomb. But you're coming up on a grab of your own, and both teams pretty much invested all their support ults.
Yeah, and I'm okay with the investment there because you're going to eat a little bit more of this time bank with how long the attack has to come in to recontest this point. Obviously with another team fight on top of that. So the more time you can waste here, then they just won't have as much in the third section where it's a lot easier for the defenders anyway. So I think I'm okay with them spending that much. Obviously, it ended up working out. It's a good combination of ultimates. Here comes the attacking Graviton, though, catching a few. Graviton's going both directions. Hard to tell who has the advantage, but yeah, now Aspire immediately cleaning up. Huge anti.
I was Paranoia there. I think I would have wanted to use my grab a bit more aggressively, like before the enemy team got a chance to get the point.
Yeah.
Because both teams kind of didn't have any support elements because he knew they couldn't counter it that way. So getting it kind of the first grab, be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, given the position of that grab relative to, kind of where Aspire was when they used it, I think you're exactly right. Like, trying to use it doubly so doesn't really help at all, because then you're just swinging at each other. You both have Reinhardt, so I don't know. I think you're right. Maybe more proactively there would be more effective, but now as they switch over to the Sombra, that could be influential for this final kind of contention. Still 2 minutes on the clock here for Aspire. Constant Entity coming in with a Meteor Strike, able to find Tosh, but a good bubble there from Eternal Isles will keep the Reinhardt up. Bomb coming in from the top, catches no one this time. Still Constant Entity causing problems in the back on the Doomfist, able to find the final kill under one more hit. Punched away, Camarigod's out of mech, and Paranoia starts to clean up again. I didn't see what the nano
Constant Entity's been... I don't fully see it either, but Constantine's definitely been a pain on this Doomfist. He's been causing constant problems in their backline and getting off a good amount of kills. Honestly, probably sometimes more than Paranoia deserved, but he's been keeping them really in a lot of these fights.
I do like the Doomfist play here, doing a really solid job. Again, whittling down that time banks. Another 30 seconds down, 1 minute 25. This is Paranoia, the 6 seed, looking to get a strong start to this best of 5 series with a win on Junkertown over the 3 seed Aspire. They're coming in on the wildcard game. So, yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Paranoia so far. It definitely came to play, and obviously, you know, in some of these games, you see the 3 seed able to come in quickly and get a quick win from maybe an experienced 6 seed, but not the case here. Paranoia coming in very strongly, looking to continue up this fantastic defense so far. Now under 60 seconds. It's going to be a pretty sloppy fight here. Ultimate's coming out. I think the rally came from Steven before dropping, so they won't have the benefit there. Aspire continue to push, and they're really getting the kills. This Purple Kid with the Coalescence grabs 2.
Yep, just back out and die. Honestly, for them, I would just get out, die, and reset. You have ultimates. Though a little bit, actually the ultimates are going to be very close here, and you have EMP as well, which can be a huge ultimate. And they only have 30 seconds left. If you can hard win this fight, you pretty much have won this map.
Well, you know,
Paranoia.
Grab EMP, Meteor Strike, and you could actually just do it all one fell swoop. There comes the attacking Graviton, finds a few, the EMP directly in, but I don't know if they had everybody coordinated. Here comes the Graviton from the top.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Got 2, one more hit, and Purple Kid. Both supports are down now for Aspire. And now with 10 seconds left, Paranoia holding on for their lives. Constant Entity able to get a pick in the back, but the kills go in the way of Aspire. Bloodfog holding on for as long as possible as the defense tries to come back in. A res coming through his Vex sides can now get back to the point. Both tanks available, and the Valkyrie up here for the defenders. Paranoia. Gamera got out of mech. Overtime meter begging to tick down, and not much representation for the blue team. Tosh with a desperate shatter will find a couple, but doesn't have a lot of health. Finally goes down. Paranoia continue to push off the rest of the attackers, trying to stream back in as quickly as possible. The overtime meter looking to shoot down immediately. Vex side swinging away. Final blows left and right. Overtime meter trickles down, and that is it. Paranoia with the first win on Junkertown.
It was pretty impressive. The last fight wasn't super pretty to start out with for Paranoia, but they really kind of brought it together. And because like especially when you start trading so many kills there at the end, it's immediately in the defense's favor because their spawns are much closer. And I think it could have been a little bit easier for Paranoia if they. A lot of times in some of these fights, they are more reactive than like aggressive. So I think if they are a little more aggressive in some of these fights, they have a much better chance and win more of these fights. But I'm actually really impressed with what I'm seeing from Paranoia right now. I know some people have been really hyping up Aspire as a team that might potentially win the entire thing. Sultan. But this is, I think, is a really strong start to Paranoia's game, and I think this is exactly what you need to do as that 6 seed. You need to come out hard in this first game, win, and carry that momentum into the next games.
And welcome back to the Console Gaming League Rival Tier quarterfinal, the last game of this round of the playoffs between Aspire, the 3 seed, and Paranoia, the 6 seed. Kind of raising some eyebrows a little bit, including my own in that first round with a good win in Junkertown over Aspire, able to cap the map on their attack. A nice, strong, aggressive approach from Paranoia really paid off for them after they kind of struggled in the first section, came back in the second and third, and were able to cap in overtime. Then a last-minute hold from Paranoia against Aspire on their attack kind of won them that point. So really solid. I know we were kind of talking about at the end of that last round just about really strong start for the team that obviously not favored to win this game if you look at it on paper, but showing that may not be the case. Again, your host Salt Pepper, joined by Headrammer, and what did you see in that last match, and what do you think we'd expect on Blizzard World?
So I think we saw a lot of good adaptation from Paranoia. What started out a little bit slow, and kind of they were struggling to find what worked for them. They kind of found something that clicked and able to push that and ride that through the rest of the second point and some of the third, and they made some more switches and finished it off. But I think it's really good what I'm seeing from them right now. I know Constant Entity has been doing great on this Doom Fist play he's been doing. Even on the Aspire side, I think TQSH was doing really good on the Reinhardt. I think probably overall it felt like he was winning the main tank battle, but Paranoia did a very good job at keeping Vex's side, their main tank, alive in some of the situations where maybe he was at a disadvantage. So I think actually that was overall actually a pretty close game. Both teams kind of went into that final fight there with a similar amount of ultimates, and maybe if it was played slightly differently, Aspire could have won that one instead. So I think. Yeah, so Blizzard World is also kind of a similar-ish map, Junkertown, and then also has these long sight lines, and all the same stuff is viable. Excuse me. So I think I'll be really curious to see how both teams handle this Blizzard World next map. With how close these are, honestly, we could very well see this go to Game 5.
Yeah, again, definitely don't count Aspire out yet. I do like what I'm seeing from Paranoia, and obviously they started out this game very solidly. We'll see how Aspire responds. Obviously they've been in a good position for most of the season, so looking to get back into it. I think we actually do have both teams just about ready. Are they ready to go? I'll get you guys into Blizzard World then. Oh, you know, we don't have changed the map. Terrible. All right, there we go.
Actually, one second. Let me verify this one thing real quick.
All right, well, wrapping that up, guys. The CGL breakdown Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern. It was really fun last week being able to kind of preview the playoffs, but obviously a lot of content to get into this week. Looking at the kind of look back at all the quarterfinal games. We'll get you recap clips and action from all of the games if you missed any of them. If you want to catch any of those VODs, I believe they're on this page, the CGL Overwatch Twitch page. Just tab over to videos and you can watch those at your leisure. And then we'll be getting into the semifinal games. Carbon and Champion join the semifinal fold next week, so we'll still have more games for you. And looking at those pivotal challenge, Carbon and Champion tier matchups to decide who plays in the final. Obviously, all semifinal games pivotal, but getting to start their playoffs here, these teams have had a lot of time off to prepare. So we'll look at kind of what we can expect from those sides, especially with such small tiers. Those teams have played each other before, so we'll be able to get a good opportunity to kind of look at kind of favorites for those games, and it should be some good content. So definitely join in for that. It's Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern.
Looks like we got the right hit from both teams.
Sweet. Yeah. Now we can start. A lot of really solid playoff games so far. A lot of really close games. The 4 seed, 5 seed games have been a really entertaining watch just about all the way throughout.
And some of these games that I've been watching have been crazy. So like I cast one game earlier this week that was a reverse sweep.
Oh wow.
And that game was like, by the end of that game was like fully invested in it. I didn't know who I wanted to win, but like I was feeling kind of the stress of that game just from casting it. And then the game I was watching yesterday, the Combinations vs. Shimano game, That game also went to 5 maps, and that one was stressful to watch. Just watching it was stressful. These games have been like ridiculously awesome. All teams are kind of like putting their heart on the lines.
Well, that's kind of what you
teams
expect too. I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you've seen teams that might have been slumping in the later parts of the season really show up for some of these playoff games.
Yeah, absolutely.
And take it to people that are seated higher than them. And it's just when things lay down the line and it all comes down to like it's this or we're out. People have been really showing up.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is just kind of indicative of how competitive the tiers have been throughout. You look at the teams kind of right in the middle, and a lot of the, I think it was like 4 rival tier teams that all win in 5 and 3 or something like that. So
It was, yeah,
really, really close tiers, and it was just map points that separated everybody. So really, any given week, any team could get the win, and I just appreciate how high the competition's been. Definitely showing here in the playoffs with some great games so far. Again, guys, if you haven't seen those, VODs over on the videos page, and if you're just needing some CGL Overwatch action at the beginning of the week when some of those games aren't quite scheduled yet, man, rewatch some of those quarterfinals. Good matchups. Aspire coming out of the attack now. Did switch sides. So it's Tosh again on the Reinhardt. One more hit over to Lucio as Eternal Isles goes Zarya. Quick pick again from Abiglio onto Eddie Smurfy. Solid start for the defenders Paranoia. And with that,
running the Sombra.
Kind of relatively strong defense they had in Junkertown. You know, it took them, obviously, you know, Aspire got all the way to the end, but still a pretty good defense. And when you do win a game defensively like that, where you rely on your defense to get you the win, I think that, you know, it can give you some momentum going into a point where you're defending again, right? Back-to-back defenses. And, you know, on the other side of that, if you're an attack that didn't quite get all the way through the last time, it can be encouraging. But as I say, that Eternal Isles and Eddie Smurfy getting a nice double to start this off. Gamera adding in, and immediately the defensive Paranoia falls. Commentator's Curtis right there.
Yeah, I know. I actually thought Paranoia was doing really good there. They got 2 quick picks, but then they lost a bunch more of their own. Yeah, they just like they fell to so fast. And now, actually, I don't know if a single ult was used on either side.
No, I think you're exactly right.
I don't think
Really
so.
tight there from Aspire, and yeah, it looked like Paranoia kind of had that advantage. They just sat in, kind of waited, and found the picks they needed, and then it kind of snowballed from there. Obviously, just one pick at a time. Worked out well for Aspire. Ultimate's building for either side though. Purple Kid with a Coalescence. A couple in the 90s, both DPS for Aspire in range.
Sorry, I was laughing because I was watching TQSH on the Reinhardt. He's on the payload. He was just like randomly swinging his hammer, and Sombra bumped into his hammer and became visible.
Yeah. Eddie Smurfy coming in now, off the Widow over to the McCree to try and take care of the Pharah. Doing just that. Here comes the EMP now from the attackers. The Coalescence from Purple Kid, looking for anybody. Eternal Isles pushing in, trying to get a couple kills. Deadeye in from Eddie Smurfy catches the Sombra Bigliu. Kills going the way of Aspire, and the attack continues to roll. 4 ultimates for the defenders, though. Steven switches off the Lucio now over to an Anna.
Going for the double main heals. Looks like they've actually swapped off the Sombra for Paranoia, and they've gone to the McCree instead. They've just realized they're not going to win that battle and decided to put a little pressure on McCree.
Trademark late contest coming in, though, from Paranoia, getting the double from Constant Entity. Solid rocket barrage there. The pin coming in from Vex side actually just did get taken down, but Reds now by Raven the Wolf and Aspire. The attackers have to start backing off a little bit. Constant Entity just causing problems in the air again. Really strong DPS here for Paranoia. Purple Kid doing his level best, but there's the help of the Mercy here. Raven the Wolf keeping that Pharah up, and finally more on the losing end of that altercation. Paranoia able to hold it there a little bit. Still 3 minutes and 40 seconds though for the attackers, and they have a bit of an ultimate advantage.
Yeah, the defense is no defensive ult, or any kind of support ultimate in general. So they gotta be
Nowhere
very
close.
careful playing around this grab that Aspire has.
Do have a Graviton of their own. We'll see if they try and use it a little bit more proactively, like we wanted to do a little bit in Junkertown. Red Fog looking for a little bit of charge. It was the shatter into a hallway. I think he caught one Vex side.
Look at the
Tries to
Sombra.
follow up. That was the defensive Graviton coming through. Finds a couple Vex side, able to get kills left and right. Sound barrier though from one more hit just to keep the attackers up. Aspire continues to push in on the payload.
Oh, the deep pin. Gets
Deep in
punished
from
for it.
Vex side. Nabiglu with a nice double there. Eddie Smurfy and one more hit both down. Smurfy very close to a Deadeye of his own, but Paranoia continues to hold this. Constant Entity's been an absolute menace on this Pharah.
Yeah, once they've been able to like, once they kind of got to the point where the Mercy can pretty much focus on the Pharah, and leaving the Ana to do the ground heals instead of Mercy having to switch back and forth. They seem to be able to keep that fair up a lot more, and they've really been able to capitalize off that damage. Now they have another barrage from it.
Rhaegar back in with the Sombra, looking for the hack onto the Reinhardt. Here comes the EMP in from the attackers. The Graviton will combine, catch a few. There's a double right there. Eddie Smurfy getting in it as well. I think actually invested the Deadeye. There's 2 more kills just for icing on the cake. There's the punctuation mark, and they finally do make it into the B checkpoint. Deadeye maybe a little bit overcommitted, but, you know. See, we're just going to jump off.
Just like, you know, assertion of dominance.
Right? You know, you
need to say, like, hey, don't forget I'm here.
They've got, I guess they're 15% away from the Shadow. They should be fine there. They got a defensive ultimate on the way. Purple Kid should be able to earn the Coalescence quickly. So they'll at least be able to absorb the next attack from Paranoia. Ideally, they've got the Vexide Shatter plus the Rocket Barrage. Used it a la carte. Constant Entity can't find anything. Rhaegar completely shoots him down. I think that could have been more well coordinated from Paranoia, and they really could pay for that. We'll see if Aspire capitalizes on, I think what has to be called a mistake. Coalescence coming out from Purple Kid, catches Raven the Wolf. Another kill on the Vex side. Here's the Shadow the other direction. And again, yeah, Aspire just driving straight through. Yeah, I think I would.
They already had like 4 kills at that point. Look at it though. You're in the moment. You're just like, we need to make sure we push this through. Let's do it.
Yeah, just the sound barrier now. Not really close to much else. There's a dead on the other side from the Big Liu, but they've got the Graviton. McCree falls immediately. Eddie Smurfy able to get his opposite at 6v5 here, but they do get the res onto the McCree. Still even. Graviton coming through only finds one more kid who gets bubbled and then use the sound barrier, so largely ineffective there from Bloodfog, who now drops. Kills going the way of Aspire. 2 already. Defenders just looking to hold on as long as possible, but still a lot of time in the bank for Aspire, who should be able to cap this. Shatter from Vexide catches 2 though. Solid Shatter there. Let's see if they can capitalize. A lot of good healing though from Purple Kid. Keeping everybody up. I think that's still going to be advantage Aspire. They're just clearing out the rest of the defenders. Hopefully they can do it quickly enough. Obviously the short respawn. There's a Tracer out here for the defense. Yeah, Constant Entity can't quite do it though. And that's going to be it. Round 1 finishes. Time in the bank for Aspire. And Paranoia is going to have to
very solid.
Work it out for them.
Yeah, that third one can be a very difficult one to capture if you don't kind of get rolling on it. They didn't really get stopped at all. I think there was like a little bit of miscommunication or coordination issues with how some of the ultimates were used by Paranoia. Because they're kind of using it on targets that didn't really matter as much, or they weren't really comboing them together. They were kind of you saw some Rhine shatters there at the end where they would solo shatter a like a Sombra. I get Sombra probably deserves it because Sombra makes you not be able to play your character. But just kind of like a little bit more combinations, because it looked like Aspire was really comboing their ultimates well. They would EMP then grab or EMP then shatter. And it just felt like, it's possible I can be missing some of these instances, but it felt like there wasn't as many combinations on the side of Paranoia.
No, I think I can agree with that. Case in point, when Continenti used the Rocket Barrage, they had the Shatter available and could have combined it, but used them separately. And I think, like we said, Aspire was kind of able to capitalize on the miscue. So, yeah, I think you're exactly right. Just a little bit better coordination and ultimate combination puts them in a better spot. Coming out, though, for the Defenders Aspire, not a lot of changes. 1 more hits now on Zenyatta, but other than that, largely the same for them. Purple Kid on the Mercy still. Got the McCree Sombra Ryan Zarya combo. From the attack, it's straight goats. Straight goats.
Oh, looks like the defense is running the Zen now, so if they could overrun the Zen, you probably pretty much get deleted. But the Zen can also potentially be good with ghosts if you can manage it, because then you can discord them and kill them off faster.
If I'm not wrong, Aspire has an Ana player. I think Eddie Smurfy plays Ana and has a few times this season. Oh, I don't think I'm wrong about that, but you kind of expect maybe if they see the ghost to switch to an Ana, because I feel like that's kind of Goat's breaker. Yeah, nice coordination for Paranoia, though. Definitely have that. Aspire retreating back to point well. Get the space. Engaging all the way from the back. Interesting attack from Paranoia. They go into point. Now that, yeah, they do kind of split up. A few went high. Big Leo went all the way around. Now they're kind of coming to point. No one's really, I think they're all kind of fighting different targets, but I think they're collecting here around Vex side. Point starts to go for them just a little bit. Kills the same way. Steven able to get Taj. That's a big pick. But
they're the res run now.
Yeah, now the kills going the other direction. Paranoia, though, still pretty open here. Eddie Smurfy in the back,
Yeah.
a few supports as well, but I think, yeah, the blue team, just look at the target focus, finally kind of settling in. Yeah, the beginning of that attack, they were kind of spread out a little bit, but yeah, started looking a lot better for Paranoia, and they will cap the point quickly. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
started out a little sketchy. Because with the goats, you know, you need to, you basically need to play as a unit and kind of go from target to target to be boosting onto them. But what you kind of, you really saw there is they kind of like tried to go up. Well, some people try to go up, some people try to go like straight on the point. There's like miscommunication where you're going, which you can't do. And I think they kind of lost somebody briefly because of that. And it really slowed down their capture of the point.
Like I said,
Ooh,
able
the
to
Sombra
get
in the back line.
defensive Sombra. That is pretty big for them because obviously now with the numbers advantage in the middle, but Chimera God could be, you know, now 10% away from an EMP, so it could have been crucial in the back there. Here comes a Coalescence though from Raven the Wolf on the attack. The Deadeye from Eddie Smurfy over the top, can't find anybody. Good awareness from Vexside to turn the shield. And an ultimate effectively wasted. Purple Kid now up for the defenders with a Valkyrie, just trying to keep everybody up as the fight breaks out much further ahead of them. Yeah, just allowing Paranoia so much room to continue pushing the payload through the center section. Shatter from Vexside goes directly into the shield. I don't think they caught anybody with that. There's the EMP and a Transcendence coming out. Another lot of ultimates from Aspire, but a gigantic shatter from Tosh. Look at all the assists though in the feed. Reinhardt swinging away, and yeah, that's gonna be Aspire taking that fight to say the very least.
Oh, almost the back cap there by the Bridget. Almost.
A lot of ultimates invested again by Aspire. I think it was 4 there. Transcendent Shatter. They used the EMP Deadeye, I believe, as well.
Both sides do have a
Valkyrie, so I
grab
think
now,
it's
though. If they play this right, they should be able to win this off of a grab. If you see like two or some people in there.
When I imagine Raven,
And they have the sound barrier
lessons
to
by the
defend a
time
grab
this
on
really
their
comes out. Here comes a pin though, a nice sound barrier to engage. Already has the pin on to Tosh. Gravitons from both sides. Yeah, but I think Paranoia going to take better advantage. Yeah, cleaning up the kills now. Man, these fights are going just back and forth.
If I saw this correctly, I'm pretty sure the Diva of Paranoia ate Aspire's grab.
Yeah, I didn't see the other one. I think you might be right.
I heard Diva say denied, and I only saw the grab from Paranoia, and the grab of Aspire was used. So I'm pretty sure Diva ate it.
Yeah, impressive there from Paranoia. A lot of time on the clock. Over 2 minutes.
Yeah, looking
more
very
on
solid right now.
Aspire, and I like this attack from, yeah, just really consistent. Fight kind of breaking out though. Vexside I think got hacked there a little bit. Coalescence coming out from Raven the Wolf, keeping these tanks up as Vexside continues to play that aggressive style. Obility over the top does do the self-destruct, but doesn't find anyone
Heart's
with
not
it.
moving though.
Yeah, they're not staying with it. And especially here, you kind of have to take as much real estate as you can. You can't really push up and kind of bully the defense because of how short that respawn is. So you kind of want to see Paranoia play a little bit tighter to the payload. Because, you know, again, they were able to get those kills, but it's still a full 6 embedded back here for the defenders. Now an EMP coming out that's huge from Chimera God. I think catches everybody, and now Aspire trying to capitalize on some of these kills. Nothing falling for them just yet. A nice condensed approach here from Paranoia. Finally, Constant Entity does drop shot of the other direction. Tosh, for not the first time this game. And Eternal Idol's getting the feed as well. I like the assist. Yeah, target focus from Aspire looks good.
I think Paranoia here needs to build up some ultimates. They're not really sitting on a whole lot right now. Whereas the defense here does basically have a Graviton. They don't have anything to defend against it with. So, but I think there is a little bit of ultimate disadvantage on the side of the attack. But they just need to force their way through here and kind of win that main tank battle. And even better, they can survive the grab.
Ooh. There's a Graviton, though, from the defenders. Able to get a big Leo out of mech. I think that Shatter didn't quite fall, though. Yeah, Tosh loses the Shatter there. Gets caught out. And Kill's just flipping back and forth. I think Aspire do have the advantage, though. Guys, really starting to go in that direction, but Bloodfog and Raven the Wolf doing their level best here on the point. They still have Vexside up as well. One more hit finally takes him down. Bloodfog in a tough spot. Can't quite get away from the bubble. I think they will have to retreat.
Yeah, I think they might want that Shatter back. It was a little bit iffy at the time, just because like you couldn't. I guess I can see from Reinhardt's view there why there wasn't enough people that were like super low. Why the Shatter was invested, but it's something looking back they might want back. It looks like Constant Entity now went to McCree, and we got over Hanzo now as well. So looking for that big ultimate combination, and just immediately kills Zarya.
EMP again from Chimera God catches a couple. Eddie Smurfy up over the top with the triple kill, quadruple kill right there for
Whoa.
Aspire.
I'm pretty sure that saved it from there. Because they got 2 quick picks, and they were about to snowball that. That was the EMP, that is.
Yeah, now you think about capping, like, Paranoia capped that second checkpoint with around, I believe it was 4 minutes and like 20 seconds. And now Aspire's whittled that down to being kind of in the lead now in the time bank. 1 minute and 50 seconds for the current defenders, and Paranoia coming down on a minute and 30 seconds. So, and they haven't really looked like they're about to cap, but again, you know, with as accurate as I've been with my predictions over the last week, who even knows. Raven the Wolf now with the Coalescence. Looking for a couple, investing both support ultimates as the sound barrier comes out. There's a Graviton from the defenders as well. A Coalescence the other direction tries to keep everybody up in the middle of the Graviton surge. Vexside finally able to get a pick, setting it maybe a little bit Paranoia's direction, but it's just chaos on the point right now.
Yeah, with how many ultimates are invested, only like 2 people dying. Oh, the Shatter's huge with the fair laying down the damage.
And again, Aspire going to hold on to this. You're exactly right. Yeah, invested a lot there, and I thought they'd be able to do a little bit more. It was kind of 2 preemptive support ultimates. You kind of think maybe they would have staggered those if they used the Coalescence to attack, and then the sound barrier to just kind of mid-fight or something. I'm not sure. Regardless, they didn't have anything for the tail end of that fight and ended up suffering for it. Ultimate still building here for the defenders. Aspire. Eternal Isles 10% away from a Graviton Surge, and actually probably will earn it here.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Eddie Smurfy with the Barrage in the way. One more here with the Rally. It's looking very good with just 30 seconds left for Aspire to continue defending this. Vexside with a deep pin. I don't know about all that. 2 kills, though, go the way of Paranoia early, and he may get away with it. Tosh going in the other direction. Is able to get the pin onto Steven. It's going to be huge, but Paranoia still getting the kills here. Coalescence from Purple Kid. Just trying to do anything he can, but drops immediately. Abiglio still available for Aspire. Yeah, in 10 seconds left. Paranoia Esports. Here comes the Graviton from both sides. Coalescence from the back. Raven the Wolf trying to keep the attackers up.
Deleting Zarya.
Completely deleted. There's the Rocket Barrage over the top from Eddie Smurfy. I don't think I actually found anybody.
Fire's like 1.
Paranoia still has the space here. Defenders will have the reinforcements shortly, but yeah, they can't stay alive long enough on the point as they come out. Purple Kid switching over to the Winston just to stall, but dropping immediately. Chimera got out of mech and done as well. 4.27 meters away, but still the defenders with the shorter respawn. If they can just keep this up, they can hold on to tie the series, but it doesn't look like it's going to go. Tosh on the Tracer drops. Payload continues to push. We're going into round 3.
That was actually pretty good. That was a pretty impressive defense from Aspire there. They held them off for, what, like 4 minutes on third point there, and pushed them from nearly capping with 3 minutes left to capping in overtime.
Yeah.
Which is really impressive.
Paranoia had a significant advantage in that C kind of third section, but you're exactly right. Completely.
We'll have to see now
over. What was
how Paranoia's defense is, because the Paranoia's defense kind of fell apart a little bit early on this first point here. So now they have to hold Aspire to nothing, because they only need a tick. Aspire only needs a tick to win this map, and they have 1 minute and 50 seconds to do it. So they got a few pushes. And what I'm looking right now from the composition is kind of what I would probably be thinking as well. Looks like they're looking for a very goatsy composition with the anti-nade with the Ana instead of the Moira.
You know what's significant about this?
Yeah,
obviously, Paranoia forces the draw. They're already in a good position with the initial win. Next map is a control point. Obviously, that can go anyway, but the Paranoia we saw in the wildcard game against Ironclad looked very solid. Even if it's not the same control point, just, you know, their attacks are pretty consistent. So, yeah, I mean, Paranoia can put themselves in a good spot if they can get the draw here. Aspire obviously wanted to get on the board and kind of don't have too much to do to earn it. It could be in a pretty
yeah,
pretty good spot here.
They're playing a lot of that range damage. Because they're playing the double sniper on defense here. They really got to make sure they don't get too close to them. Otherwise they'll get run over. I'm not really sure I like how they're playing it right now.
Well, yeah, and as the attack running goes, that's exactly what they want to do, right? Get in your face. So doing exactly that. Chimera got immediately in on Vexside, the threat, taking him down. 6v5 for the attackers. They just need the tick. 1 minute and 20 seconds to do so as the fight breaks out. One more hit offsets it even further. 6v4 now for the attack Aspire. They're just like pixels away from capping this. They just need one more person to drop off. I think that's going to be Aspire taking this round. I don't want to speak too soon, but, you know, it looks like they're getting the kills here. There it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure I really liked how Paranoia played that one there. I mean, the whole point of GOATs is, you know, you work as a unit, you speed boost, and just, like, delete one person at a time. And it was kind of like Reinhardt and Bercy, I think it was. They were kind of like a little bit up ahead of the rest of the team, and they just got like bulldozed over by the goats from Aspire. And then you're down your main tank, and you're down like 2 people, so you're most likely to lose the fight, and especially against goats, they did.
Well, now we have ourselves a series, though, tied it directly up, and I like that from Aspire. So now we go into a control point to try and see who can poke their nose out in front. We'll be right back with the Rival Tier quarterfinals from the Console Gaming League when we come back. Hello and welcome back to the Console Gaming League Rival Tier quarterfinal between the 3rd seed Aspire and the 6th seed Paranoia. Aspire coming, kind of getting down early on Junkertown. Paranoia taking that first game, or takes that first game to task and comes out with a very strong lead in the series. Aspire coming directly back on Blizzard World with a strong defense of their own, and just a single tick in the 3rd round earns them the tie here. Now we go into Bazan, where really anything can happen. It's control points. It gets a little bit more chaotic on those points. We've seen really strong, tight, cohesive attacks from both sides, so I'm excited to see who comes away from this one. It kind of takes the lead a little bit going into that 4th round, but lots to play for still. A lot of Overwatch left to play. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Headrammer, and kind of a perspective after that 2nd round, seeing Aspire tied up. What do you think we'd expect here on Busan?
So, I think it's very interesting watching these both so far. So far, they've been kind of very close. It looks like I think overall Aspire has a stronger defense than Paranoia does, where both teams are both very good on attack. And I'm really curious to see like how they apply those skills here when it comes to control point. Because like you mentioned, control point, the way you play it versus payload and capture point is very different. You kind of almost have like 3 plans. You're gonna have like your attacking plan, sorry, like your retake plan, your like defensive plan, and like your kind of like mid poke plan, whatever you want to call it. So I think if Paranoia can kind of get together their defense a little bit more, I think they can play this very well. But Busan is also an interesting one in that Busan is a very new map. There isn't really as much of a defined meta for it right now. We haven't really seen it in like pro competitive play that much. So it leaves a lot up in the air that I think either team could do big on. I know we've seen both these teams kind of like run some bastions. I know we've definitely seen Paranoia in the past run bastion on a control point. So I'm really curious to see if they kind of try it here too. Looks like we will be swapping Paradox in for Paranoia. What do you think here? Do you like Busan?
I do, actually. I think it's got just really unique points, all 3 of them, and I really enjoyed playing it. It's a beautiful map, and I like how, I think that's the Mecha Lab, where you know, obviously the walls coming up and down really kind of affects, and we see some interesting creative strategies. I think you were saying, you know, match you saw where using a diva bomb and kind of coordinating with those walls moving can be effective. So just, I always appreciate creative, kind of outside the box thinking from teams. So kind of plays into that. And yeah, I mean, I like this map.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I personally, for myself, like I probably end up liking it later for its uniqueness. For now, I just like it because I don't like unknowns. It's kind of what it is. I
That's
don't
fair.
really like things being I don't know. I kind of like to know what's coming. But when you have a point, or when you have 3 maps that are so new that, you know, because people get stuck on their ways. Once like a meta gets defined kind of for a map, people are like, oh, just do this by default. But otherwise, until then, both teams kind of, or sorry, both all the points kind of people kind of like run like, what if we tried this? And they try random shenanigans, and like you're never prepared for it. Like,
That is true. See
ooh,
some
it
like
looks
core
like
bones on here. Crazy stuff.
yeah, I know. I just saw Purple Kid there teasing a little bit of Torbjorn, so I don't know if he's up to. No, he's not. He's going back to Moira. Darn it. We'd also mentioned how Paranoia kind of runs Sebastian on these control points. It looks like also being debated, which is entirely possible. Paranoia looks to be running a Bastion. Yeah, Bastion, especially if you get him set up on a point, can be very annoying to retake. Especially if you can keep him up and going, because the Bastion uncontested just lays down unparalleled amounts of damage, just destroy shields and melt tanks.
Well, there's good
Looks like
high
Evergrande
ground
is running
spots
a
in this map
Sombra.
too that kind of allow Bastions to get set up and be in a difficult kind of obscure spot to hit if you're the other side. So yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of good high ground around the control point that I think makes it a more vertical fight instead of thinking about like, you know, some of the Li Zhang fights that are very just in close quarters. So I kind of appreciate that about this map. I mean, immediately, Paradox, the substitute coming in, will be going on the Bastion. We've got Constantity over on the Doomfist and has played pretty well so far. Pin coming in from backside, doesn't catch anybody, but now it's Paranoia trying to set up on the point as it opens up in about 8 seconds. Tasha immediately going for that Bastion, eliminating him, but it's a 5v5 as Constant gets the pick on the one more hit. Going in for the res in a very dangerous-ish area. Purple Kid is able to get one more hit back up, but yeah, at what cost though? Loses the Mercy. I think it's going to be huge for them.
They lose their Mercy too. They get the cap the points though.
Yeah. Paranoia just in the commotion, able to cap that point. Start off early on.
Well, that Diva's 1 health. If she gets out of max, it's going to be a big stagger, but I think she's going to get out living at like 1 HP.
Finally able to get to the safety up Purple Kid. Paranoia set up a little bit far off the point. We've got Gameragod, the Sombra on the back line. Trying to cause some problems here. Paradox probably the target. Backside able to get a pick onto Tosh early on. Is that a shatter?
Oh,
coming in from backside.
yeah.
Kane trying to get back. Backside with 2 kills in the feed. Now it's Eternal Isles out of back. Paranoia out of nowhere. 34% gone to the point, but very dominant to start on this 3rd round here. Our 3rd game of the series.
I do like the idea. I do like the idea of the Sombra though. You really, when you're running the Sombra, you kind of really discourage Bastion from trying to mount himself and just like sit somewhere, because he can just get hacked right out of that form. So this nowadays it's forcing him to kind of like move all around.
And now it's a Valkyrie from Purple Kid. Rally coming in from both sides. Steven, one more hit, just trying to bolster their team members in the fight. It's another Valkyrie the other side from Raven the Wolf. A lot of support ultimates invested in this fight. Shatter available from Vexside. Will use it. I think mostly went into the shield. Was able to find, I believe that's one more hit, who has the rally up. So huge for them, but not quite able to eliminate. But I think Paranoia are wrapping up these kills still.
Yes, they are. They're spending a good amount of ultimates, but they're keeping enough that they should be able to still hold this point fine. They'll do sorry, not the defense. Oh, they're using the Bastion ultimate. Where is that coming from? Just curves and walk in. I'm not sure if he wanted to use that or just like wanted to bounce around and cause a distraction. But Summer does have an EMP now. Just trying to drop down and maybe get a shatter off.
Pretty enthusiastic Bastion ultimate there. I think Gameragod used the EMP and
EMP was spent with nobody around though.
Yeah. A little upsetting there. It's the defensive Graviton coming through, but Eddie Smurfy on the point looking for the kills with the Rocket Barrage. He's able to find just the one. Raven the Wolf drops though via Gameragod on the Sombra. Paranoia still with the advantage into point. Tosh low gets melted down. Purple Kid and just the supports here for Aspire trying to hold on as long as possible, but I don't think it's going to fall. Still, I mean,
Yeah,
contesting
that's the
longer
thing.
than I feel like they should have been able to, and now it's a rally up as Constant. I think Tosh now on the. Oh no, still Constant. Yeah, they still got members coming back in overtime though.
Killing Bridget, man, is hard. Especially when she's ulting, it's impossible.
Right. Yeah, Smurfy now over onto the Tracer to try and.
Alright.
It's not gonna happen. Get off the point. Paranoia. Wow. What a again. I like the teams responding. Paranoia comes out really strongly. Aspire doing the exact same thing with a late defense of their own. Now coming straight back to control point, and Paranoia starting out well again.
100-0 on that first point there. Seems like Paranoia just like they have this Bastion strat. They really like to run the Bastion on the control points. And it seems like the other team is having a little bit of a difficult time not dealing with it. Because like if they focus on the main tank with like the hacks, then the Bastion melts the other main tank. If they focus the Bastion, then they keep the other main tank up and potentially win that battle as well. So it's a very interesting. It's a strategy you don't see many teams run, trying to run these Bastion on the control points. So when it shows up, you're not really as much. I don't know. You kind of got to throw things at a wall until it works. Oh, they're sticking with the Bastion. Keeping a similar comp, minus the Sombra. Time for Aspire.
We got Smurfy now on the end as well. I'm sure we said that. Constant Energy back on the Doomfist, causing some issues. Nice sleep immediately from Medi Smurfy, and he's deleted. Nice change there. I think that's going to be influential. Tosh going in, or Tosh Blue is backside going with the pin on Eternal Isles, but kills going the way of Paranoia. I think they get the rest on a Constant Entity to get the Doomfist back up. Control point opening up though. Paranoia I think have the numbers but aren't quite on it. Yeah, Aspire will actually cap the point first.
Yeah, but Doom is popping off. Kills like 4 people. It's not gonna be enough though, but they actually might have a little bit of opportunity. Potentially, maybe not to get back into this because Doom just killed like 4 people in that fight. So it left those tanks left, but you couldn't really take them all out by himself. But they have a little bit of an opportunity. Actually, never mind. They do it with the speed boost on the side of Aspire, so that's actually not going to happen. That's actually though just being a constant nuisance in this backline. Nearly taking out Lucio. Oh, kills him. Oh, the D.Va goes too deep. Gets melted. Passion decides to pop his ultimate. Just deleting everyone. Oh, invest in the Shatter too. I don't know if they needed all those ultimates. Probably a little bit of overinvestment, honestly. Because they spent 4 ultimates there, whereas Aspire spent nothing.
Yeah, definitely on paper, Aspire looks like they'll be able to roll back in and take this directly back. We'll have 4 ultimates by the time it opens up. They'll just have the Valkyrie. Paranoia will just have the Valkyrie for it. Defense, but maybe they can earn the Graviton in time. But I think, yeah, if Aspire comes back and attacks us quickly, they should have the advantage. One more hit now with the rally, just trying to keep the team ready to go as they approach this next point. Second Coalescence as well from Purple Kid. The Graviton catches 4.
Big grab.
There's the combo with the Coalescence. No one dropping just yet. Now they finally get Constant Entity. Shatter the other direction. Chimera God's out of mech. Uses the self-destruct to get the mech back. Doesn't quite find anybody, but Aspire definitely have the kills. Looks like they should be able to wrap this up. Vexside does get the pin on Eddie Smurf, but then gets completely surrounded, blocked out, and taken down. And Aspire snatching the point right back.
That was a decent investment on Aspire too. Yeah, that stagger's not good.
That's a heads-up play from Aspire. Just get the stagger through.
So they're looking to try a different side this time, popping around the right side. Maybe no, never mind. Going down the center.
And committing to the Bastion. Sticking with the Bastion. See if
they are. They know it can work. They've got a lot of percentage here.
Ooh, pinned directly in. Oh, that's huge on a Paradox. Completely cancels the ultimate entirely. They do get the res back up, but boy, what a huge pin there from Tosh. And then the Shatter coming through. This Reinhardt absolutely popping off right now. Oh my god. Look at the kills for Aspire. Yeah, safe to say that they've tied up this match.
For sure, no one's going to touch the point. That was a big turnaround overall. I think actually one of the big things I heard in Paranoia there was how many ults they invested trying to retake there. Spending 4 ultimates when the other team has to spend absolutely nothing. It's gonna put you at a big disadvantage for some of those fights there. And I think also, I do like what they're doing with the Bastion, but I also think they're being a little bit also a little bit too aggro. He's kind of like always really close to his team. At least it feels like he's really close to his team. So then when his team gets under pressure, he is as well. It'd be interesting to see if he played a little bit off from his team, so that when his team's under pressure, he can provide a little bit of support to them from like a long range, while still doing a lot of damage. The Spire rocked in the goats this time, and Paranoia committed to what they've been running.
Yeah. We got Steven on the Brigida now. I think they're out of Lucio for a little while, but actually, I could be wrong. Either way, yeah, pinned directly in. Paradox melting down Tosh.
It's the Rhine!
Has no shield, really. You know, they've got Vexite kind of out and about, but Constant Entity doing work as well. Already things going the way of Paranoia right off the bat. Gamera got out of mech.
Trying to kill the Bastion.
Oh, things going sideways immediately for Aspire. Eternal Isles down, and now as the point opens up, Paranoia will just coast onto it and take it calmly.
That was some serious peel for that Bastion. He was being attacked, honestly, by 5 people right there. And he still came out alive. He got a bunch of heals, he got somebody else stunned that was trying to kill him, he got a bubble. It was impressive.
Paradox back at it here, getting the kill onto one more hit. Eternal Isles drops as well. Tosh able to answer one back, but this Bastion's just insufferable for the red team Aspire. Now has an ultimate, using it here combined with Purple Kid's Coalescent. Things looking good for Paranoia. And honestly, the back and forth nature of this game, momentum shifts so quickly. This is fascinating to watch.
It really does. Bastion taking this high ground, which I really do like. Because there's nothing on the side of Spire that can really touch him up there. Unless someone has to go to him.
Yeah, Purple Kid trying to do just that.
Nobody
can't
in that
really find anything. Bit of a waste of Graviton there from Blood Fog with a Shatter. Oh my god, directly through. Just so much happening. I can't even wrap my head around everything. You've got a Paradox who's still just kind of all over the place, and they can't really do anything about him. There's so much other things going on. You're right. The combination of the Bastion and then Constant Entity on the Doomfist is like, how exactly do you focus? Because there's so much like aggression, but then so much damage just in a spot you can't really reach.
Yeah, because I don't know if Paranoia is doing this, but it's something they really should be doing if they're not, because it would definitely help the strategy a lot. Is basically putting a lot of effort into oh, look at that Bastion spot. I didn't even know you could get up there. Basically focusing down the main tank on Aspire, making sure he is always under pressure, because the massive Shatter.
Gets the Shatter, and they've still got Paradox up there. Yeah, both teams kind of neutralized there, but the Paradox was up a little bit safe. Able to get kills through. Eternal Isle was able to take down Vexide. Meteor Strike coming in a very tight area. Finds Eddie Smurfy. The pin from Tosh, though, directly onto Constant Entity. 94%, 95%. Aspire needs to get back to the point, so trying to take this over. They're about to get 100-0 again. Back on here, Tosh runs into some problems with Steven on the Brigida. Just a couple members from both sides, but I think the supports are available. Both Reinhardt's up as well. Tosh is in a really low spot, saved by Eddie Smurfy's sound barrier, though. Able to save a little bit longer. Eternal Isles finally takes on the Bastion. That could be huge here for Aspire, who needs something out of this. There comes the Graviton. Doesn't quite find anybody. I think Aspire has the advantage here, though. With the Bastion again now. The tank mode.
Rhine suicides. Yeah, I think they should have the advantage now, unless they get a little massive amount of kills.
Paradox not quite able to turn it the other direction. They'll get the kill into the Mercy, and finally Aspire flip the point back in overtime.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to take this back now. Especially with the huge, actually a pretty large ultimate advantage on the side of Aspire, because the Bastion can really hold these points hard, because when he has he's just set up and can hold those spaces. But getting in is a lot more difficult. If they can focus down the main tank.
Gamera, I think, looking for a position to use the self-destruct to try and catch the other team kind of unaware. Shatter from Vexide gets directly into the shield from Tosh, goes in for a deep pin and will find it, but now completely without the rest of his team. Graviton coming through here from Aspire, and there's the self-destruct from Gamera. What a triple. And I think Aspire's going to hold on to this point.
Yeah, for sure. My controller briefly disconnected when I was talking before, but what I was talking about was, out of everything on the side of Aspire, there's really only one person that can insta-kill Bastion. That's the Reinhardt pinning them. And they were doing it a little bit earlier. They were focusing down Reinhardt so he couldn't be pinned. And that's what I think they need to keep doing.
Now trying to attack back through. Aspire making it difficult, kind of plugging up that corridor a little bit, but now it's Constant Energy. It gets very close to a Meteor Strike. Nobody going down just yet. He'll use it here directly into Aspire. Will find one more hit. That's big for them. Can't quite get the punch, though, onto Purple Kid. Still going out of that Moira and getting the double.
Shatter canceled.
Really going the way of Paranoia right now.
So this is bad for them.
Yeah, Kamericod dropping here. We'll have the self-destruct to try and keep up. Oh, actually, how did... I thought Vex had the shield up there. Not sure how they caught that, but they'll get the res from Raven the Wolf onto the Reinhardt here. Paradox still up and available, trying to take down this Brigida, but I think Paranoia might have the advantage.
Actually, this is
90% though for
scary, actually.
Aspire. They get this point back. Paradox caught directly in the middle of the Graviton. Constantity caught well. Eternal Isle's high charge here, able to get both of them.
They split up.
Oh my god, yeah, I think Aspire's gonna be able to flip this point back. I don't know if Paranoia's gonna have enough time to get members back in the 4% that they'll have at the end of this.
Yeah, that was bad. They kind of got to split up for each other. They definitely had the advantage there, but didn't focus down the right targets. And then Zarya got out with her high charge.
Forcing the overtime, Vex able to get back on. It was a late contest from Continuity to force the overtime. They've got Paradox and the Sombra, who did not live long. Gets the res on a Vex side. Just a couple members here for Paranoia. Definitely Aspire with the advantage. Vex side doing everything he can. Gets the pin onto Tosh. That's huge for them. But then gets completely dropped. Overtime meter. Ooh, just begging to dig down. It's a Blood Fog, the only one left. Can't quite and Aspire. Oh my god, yeah. Paranoia looked like they're about to just clean that up, and Aspire able to take this game and take a lead in the series.
Yeah, Aspire, they kind of messed, not Aspire, Paranoia kind of messed that one up, I think. I think they definitely had the advantage and kind of threw it away a bit by getting split up as a team. There was Zarya kind of in like her own little 1v1 closer to their spawn with, I think it was the other Zarya. I think Zarya solo grabbed the other Zarya or something of the sort. And then while a battle was happening on points, the tanks weren't there to help each other. And then just Zarya was able to get out just barely while being burned up by Bastion with her high charge, and then she used the high charge when she kind of like went around a corner to kill like 2 people. And then the advantage came back to Aspire because the people from Aspire died so early, so they were able to get back because the fight went so long. That was super close.
And welcome back to the Console Gaming League Rival Tier quarterfinal, and this has been a fantastic game so far. Paranoia taking an early lead in the series, Aspire coming back with a win on Blizzard World, and then just late on Busan getting the win there after the first round losing 100-0 and only earning the point back, I believe, in overtime, right, for Paranoia on the third map. Obviously they were able to pull back the second pretty convincingly, but just right there at the death, flipping it back and just holding on long enough to get the win there on Busan. And I obviously came into this game really high on Aspire, but Paranoia just coming, it looks really, really good. Obviously they're losing the series now, but you know, you look at some of those rounds on Busan and I think we could be in for maybe a 5-game series. But Aspires look good. Paranoia definitely making it a fun series, and I'm excited to see if they can come back and force that 5th map. Your host Salt and Pepper again, joined by Headrammer, and I know you have a bit of perspective on that last map. And Horizon is a completely different animal from a control point, though. What do you think we'll see from these sides?
So Horizon is interesting. It's a 2CP map, obviously, but Horizon is one of those maps where, like, you, especially before it was reworked, but even still, kind of now, you see a lot of those times where you get first and second point caps with like 6 minutes left. It's one of those points. It's really interesting. It's kind of not as much built off of your attack skill. It's based really strongly around your defense. Because anytime you can burn off in first point is big. It's huge. You really delete a lot, especially if you can hold on second. Second can sometimes be a very difficult one to attack if you're not like snowballing into it, because the spawns are super close and there's a lot of open area for the defensive to hold. And because of that, I'm gonna call Horizon very defensive heavily. And because of that, also, I think I'm gonna give maybe Aspire the advantage of this map, simply because Aspire has been showing through the last 3 maps that their defense is a little bit stronger than Paranoia's. But I really like what I've been seeing from Paranoia overall. Paranoia, even though they're losing 2-1 right now, I feel like they've had the chance to win those other 2 maps as well, and have made them very competitive. They came in the 3rd point of Blizzard World with more time than Aspire did. However, they got held back by Aspire's defense. And then they came this last one, took the first one 100-0 on Busan, and then lost the second one, but then pretty much got it to 100-0 again. However, they end up losing it and just barely losing it there at the end. So I think, yeah, this will be a very interesting map. It's very heavily goats dominated, and I know that Aspire's been running a lot of these goats. I don't think we've seen a whole lot of goats from Paranoia this few maps, so I definitely think Aspire probably has a little bit of advantage going to this point. And if Aspire does win this map, they do take the series. However, Paranoia wins this one, we end up going to a map 5 on Nepal. But I'm expecting a little bit of maybe unusual strats maybe from Paranoia, just because I like their Bastion stuff.
That's true. Yeah, they ran Paradox on the Bastion last time. So, I mean, you've kind of got 2 ways of looking at it. Do they run the Bastion again because it was so effective? Obviously, they didn't get the win on Busan, but it was still a really good Bastion play, and I think that Aspire had a difficult time dealing with it. Or do you not run the Bastion, kind of expecting that Aspire will expect you to do that and kind of change up the comp, right? Like, I know that Paranoia has a lot of really creative approaches, and hopefully we see some more of them here. Definitely not a one-dimensional team. And would like to see them kind of mix it up. As I say that, they go Bastion, so... Man, my predictions are... This is why I never do March Madness, honestly.
Yeah.
You ever see somebody get every single first round pick wrong? I'm just kidding, that'd be ridiculous.
Of course, that would never happen. Looks like we do... Oh, look at a potential defensive May here. May can definitely be a nuisance on these maps. You can really kind of slow down some compositions and cause chaos to main tanks.
Yeah, I really like kind of hybrid and 2CP May defense. Actually, I think an
really
identical
curious to see how they attack with Bastion.
I think it's that will be interesting because I mean, I guess attacking the point is kind of the same way, except that the defense is obviously already set up, so you've got to kind of play around that a little bit. Backside trying to create space a little bit further forward. A lot of the high ground defense is going to be difficult, but really not giving the attack too much of an issue. Usually you see teams go through that small room because it's a little bit more well protected. Didn't really matter for them. Decided to go around the outside, and the defense did not get enough damage in from the top. Paradox in with the Bastion now. Doesn't really have the line of sight to get anybody down.
Ooh.
Huge anti though from Eddie Smurfy into the attackers, and Tosh takes full advantage of the triple kill. Already has a shatter with 40 seconds off the clock. Gets staggered a little bit there, but,
actually, Aspire pretty much did exactly what I was kind of hoping they were going to do there. It's one of the things I was talking about earlier, how one of the big ways to combat that Bastion is burst damage, so killing with something instantly that can't really be countered, minus like a bubble or something like that, and that's the Reinhardt pin. He just goes deep in there, pins someone immediately. It wasn't the Bastion, but it was able to take out one of the main healers themselves.
Ooh,
and apparently the Zarya is now a sniper.
Yeah, it's swinging the way of Aspire here. Eternal Isle was able to get the pick onto Paradox, who just switched off the Bastion to the Widow. So Paradox not really able to be as effective with the fight. You look how, obviously, after making the switch, how low the ultimate it is, or ultimate percentage is relative to the rest of the team. Tosh still looking for a chance to use that Shattered. I think maybe they would have wanted to get that out a little bit sooner before the rest of the ultimate starts to build for Paranoia. But regardless, the attacking team now coming around their left-hand side. The Coalescence coming through from Steven. We'll find a couple. Here comes the Shatter, though. I think actually did get the Shatter, but the... or no, it was blocked by the Maywall. You're exactly right. Constant Entity also kind of protected, so a double whammy for that shield there. Tactical Visor now coming in, though, from Gamera. God gets deleted immediately from Paradox with a headshot from afar.
They're returning Shatter.
Yeah, the shatter in from
They're
Tosh.
kind of back and forth though.
Yeah, it's really difficult to tell who has the advantage. I think it's just Vexside though for the attack still on the point. Raven the Wolf invests the Valkyrie, I think, late.
Oh really?
Yeah, did invest the Valkyrie.
I don't know
Just
if I
try
agree
and
with that
keep.
one.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think just trying to get the tanks out maybe and thought the contention could still be on, but not quite. Paradox with another kill on the Chimera God, 2 in a row, and now has the infrared sight.
I'm not sure I like the late Valkyrie usage. They're already down kind of a large majority of their team.
Yeah, they weren't in a position to be able to have members coming back in to recontest.
Oh,
Paradox.
that Widow shot just took Mercy to 1 health.
Yeah, but this Paradox over here has had really good sidelines. I don't think Toch has been as conscientious of, where the Widow is. The shield's not always available, but now the kill's going the way of Paranoia as they storm back onto the point here. Ooh, yeah, Vexside doing just fine. 3 kills there for that Reinhardt, and that's going to be a cap here for Paranoia. 1 minute and 13 seconds, so get an additional 4. Reasonable amount of time on Horizon.
They don't really have a whole lot to potentially snowball this, though.
They do
The
not.
defense has definitely the ultimate advantage right now, so I don't think that we're going to see a snowball situation. Unless something crazy happens with the bomb or Rav.
No, I think you're exactly right, unless it's like a 5 from Bloodfog. I don't think... I think Paranoia are going to have to attack this a couple times. The Blizzard did come out, but I think it actually... Was that eaten? I think Bloodfog ate the Blizzard.
Yeah, I didn't really see it go anywhere, so it must have been eaten. Ooh,
Paradox able to get a kill into 1 more hit, though.
It looks like they don't have a counter for Paradox right now. He's been kind of hitting these long-range shots on the Widow. It doesn't really feel like he's been under a lot of pressure.
Well, that's what I was kind of saying, too, is that you're right, there is no pressure, but also Tosh hasn't been as good about keeping the shield up to avoid those sidelines he probably should be. Graviton coming out now from the Defenders Eternal Isles, now coming in from the attackers as the Tactical Visor comes in from Chimera God. Bomb in over the top. Eternal Isles drops, but mostly kind of shielded out by the 1 more hit wall. Still 4 minutes on the clock. Ping goes in from Tosh. Can't quite connect, but sees both supports in the back. Has a shatter. Hasn't decided to use it yet. Sees Vexside low. Maybe an opportunity here. Now just swinging away. Yeah. And Aspire's going to wrap up that defense. Vexside still. Constant now switching over to the Hanzo.
Yeah, kind of when you start trading those kills early in the fight as the attack, you immediately are going deeper and deeper in the hole because the defense runs so close. So they swept back over to the Zara.
Yeah, preemptive rally out from Purple Kid as well. Paradox with another infrared sight now in the middle. Looking for those picks again. Yeah, just no pressure on this Widow whatsoever.
But using the sound barrier, well, kind of aggressively, but they're not pushing in with it. That's not going so deep. He's gonna die.
I don't think the Blizzard's really there for anybody, but Chimera God's able to get the kill on the Vexside. 1 more hit falls via the Widow. I think it's... No, yeah, I think Aspire still has the advantage here. It kind of looks like Paranoia, they're almost retreating too quickly. I don't know, I could be wrong there. It seems like they're losing like 1 person and then deciding to retreat when maybe they could press the fight a little bit further.
Yeah, they were kind of... It seemed like they were unsure of what they wanted to do there. Because the Lucio invested sound barrier, and then they started backing out. It was really weird. And then after that, Vexside kind of like charged in alone, and within like an area of like 4 team members of Aspire, he got punished hard.
Well, now a chance to right the ship. 3 ultimates for the defenders, including a Shadows for both sides. Vexside and Constantine could definitely be available to combine. Raven the Wolf will have a Valkyrie here as well. So Paranoia looking to get something out of this fight here with 2 minutes left. There comes the Shatter. Actually does catch a couple. Dragon Strike not quite coordinated, but still finds 1 more hit. And Purple Kid. Things really going the way of Paranoia as it's Tosh using a Shadow the other direction. Finds Constant Entity directly into a pillar before taken down by his opposite. 1 more hit now switching over to a Wrecking Ball. I think it's probably just for the contention coming through, with the rest of the fight on the point going the way of Paranoia. It's a tick. Now 2. They're at 80% before finally Purple Kid can come back in.
The tactical visor.
Chimera God completely eliminated trying to use the visor. Constant Entity having nothing of it. 91.6% away from Paranoia, just trying to hold on to this. The defenders coming back in and continue contesting. 1 more hit on the Wrecking Ball causing a lot of problems, but we'll have to be careful. Oh, got off the point too far.
Ooh, okay.
And Paranoia able to finally cap. Solid round for them. Took a little bit of time, but got through, made it happen.
Yeah, when they combine their ultimates, they do a pretty good job at it. But a lot of times, it seems like they're not fully on the same page what's happening. But when they do it like that, it works out very well for them.
Yeah, that Shatter Dragon Strike combo seemed to really pan out. They got 2 quick picks on 1 more kid, and I think it was Purple Kid, and things just kind of went from there. So really solid
I'm
from
seeing
Paranoia.
seeing a bash.
Oh, shocker.
Bastion Horizon defense. I'm down. We're actually gonna see. Looks like we're seeing Vexahide on the Orisa now. I think we've only so far seen him on the Reinhardt. So they really want to put a lot into this Bastion.
No Roadhog coming out here though for the defender's Paranoia. Sometimes you see the Roadhog versus a combo for the tanks, but obviously
Like
maybe expecting some of the spam.
sometimes
like the defense matrix.
Yeah, it's definitely sometimes you see the Roadhog, but especially for Horizon defense, a lot of times you run the Diva, pretty much no matter what. Just because of this, like you like to hold top left here, and sometimes people push the point, and you can use Diva to contest the point alone, and just fly back out and go back out for heals.
Yeah, see, that's why you have you on here. You know way more about this than I do.
I think it was the NYXL strat. We've popularized it.
Oh, now you're name dropping? Oh my god.
I think it was. I know I copied it from NYXL when I started using it.
As Goat still coming out here from Aspire on their attack.
Yeah, this one.
See how this Paradox
The
works?
Bastion could potentially really melt goats if they go right to point. The Bastion can just like hold up top there. They're gonna probably need to like get the Bastion dislocated in order to make this work very well.
Yeah, Tosh already very low. Paradox just honing in on that Reinhardt immediately and making him pay. A little bit of a tick gone here for Aspire's Paranoia comes back into contest. I still think that the defenders have the advantage here as Constant Entity and Paradox combined for both tanks here. Yeah, Paradox just making life difficult there on the high ground. Killfeed just completely lighting up. They can't do anything about this Bastion. And once again, for the second map in a row, I believe, will have a... oh, spoke too soon. About to say we'll have an ultimate within the first 60 seconds. And still kind of on deck, possibly 93%, because a little bit more damage. There it is. And impressive from Paradox.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Just Aspire having a hard time dealing with this Bastion.
And they basically need to dislocate him before they can possibly do that. They need to like push up to the high ground, push him off, and then get a point.
In a very good spot. Again, just so much damage coming in that narrow little room. Paradox with the tank mode able to grab one. That might be enough to kind of belay this attack coming through from them. You still got space to the Bastion. They're still trying to come up this right-hand side, but it may not work out for Aspire. Coalescence coming through, though, for Purple Kids, trying to keep everybody up in this narrow hallway. Maybe panning out for them. They finally take down the Bastion. That'll be huge, but they lose their Reinhardt in the process. Second tank down now as Eternal Isles drops.
Oh, they have the rest of those. Oh, the Diva Bomb down there. Oh, gets the Moira. Very solid so far.
Oof, what is
from
this defense from
Paranoia.
Paranoia? Yeah, exactly. This is impressive.
Like it could have been a little bit more smooth there. Bastion kind of rotated around the corner, like right beside the enemy team. If I were them, I would have backed up a little bit more. They made it like they had it harder to gauge on him to make it work. But they were able to just lay down so much damage with him and create some kills, and then get the res back on him, which was huge.
Again, aggressive attack. Paradox
losing the
directly
man
on
again.
Natasha immediately, and just it has him to the sights. Paradox dropping down, now coming out
It's
from the back. It
flanking
could be
back.
dirty though. They look at the kill into Eddie Smurfy. The kill's just going the way of Paranoia again, and Aspire just looks so fragmented.
This is a very solid defense right now. Looks now, Aspire is not really spending a whole lot of ults while they're going through here, so that is good for them. Coming up on Shatter, Grav soon. They have ults. They're gonna have ults here very soon. As long as Hero can definitely defend against them, the Dragon could get you quite a good bit. But yeah, they're not needlessly spending ults, which is good for them.
Ooh, this Dragon Strike might be a little bit behind. You look at the speed of Aspire, and I think, yeah, I could have probably let him off a little bit further there. But now the Self-Destruct coming through. May find a couple, but Paradox able to get two. Answers back the other direction, 2 for Aspire. So this looks like their best attack so far. Looking for the kill onto Raven. Can't quite find it yet, but Aspire pushing into point very aggressively. There's the Shatter, though, from Tosh. Finds a couple. Yeah, I think kill's going the way of Aspire. And they probably will cap this point only about... You know, I guess we can see how long the contention's going to come through. Bloodfog's probably going to wait as long as possible before dropping down into point. But, yeah, it was a minute and a half left on the clock when Paranoia took their point. Yeah, there's the last second contest. I like the patience there from the Diva and from Raven the Wolf. Mercy drops immediately, though. Yeah, Bloodfog won't be able to get out. And I mean, I like the idea of the patience, but the rest of the team just waiting. It won't be able to... They won't try and contest that. I wonder maybe a miscommunication there, because obviously... I think Bloodfog has the speed to get out, and Raven can just follow the Diva. So interesting there that they stayed up and tried to do the contention. I think the rest of the team thought that point was already lost. But now coming in for this next attack, it's a preemptive supercharger from Beck's side, a sound barrier from the attackers, and Eddie Smurfy will go the other direction. Bombing from the top, finds nobody, but it's a Raven the Wolf. Valkyrie up in the air for the defenders. Paranoia. They're investing a lot here, though. Paranoia, I think, have used 5 ultimates here.
Good bit for putting that snowball. It looks like, yeah, this could be actually a little scary for them in the next push. Just due to the fact that they invested so many ultimates and the attack really didn't spend anything besides the sound barrier. So they're going to have the grab, they have the shatter, the Diva Bomb. And defense doesn't really have anything to handle that right now.
You're exactly right. Aspire will have everything at their disposal basically coming into this next push. So as long as, you know, they play this correctly, they could be in
I
a much
just
better
noticed
position.
the Bastion's up top. He got teleported up top there. I just noticed that. I don't know how I didn't notice it earlier.
That's pretty clever.
Actually, there's pretty much the only person that can even do anything right now to the Bastion is either Diva, I think just poke him a little bit, or Hanzo, who can damage him a bit. But
Ooh, pinning from Tosh in a tough spot. Half health,
dropping the
doesn't have any
ball
help
right up
whatsoever.
there
But
with
there's the shatter, catches 4 in the back. Looked like he was in a really difficult position. Still doesn't quite have the support of his team, but a lot of members of Aspire are very low right now. They use the Paranoia. They use the commotion to take a little bit of the point. It's a tick already for Aspire. They've got a second. Paranoia has to get back onto the point here. Nobody available, yeah, and just look at that. Time bank completely swinging the other direction. A full extra minute for Aspire over Paranoia going to round 3.
yeah, definitely. I think mostly what lost it for at least lost that attack round there for Paranoia was just ultimate usage.
Yep.
They're kind of overinvested, and were caught at a huge disadvantage there a few times in. And on the first point, I think the first point was also lost. Was lost for like 2 different reasons. One, I think Bastion can probably rotate his positioning a little bit better when he knows these like up close and personal things are about to happen. But then I also lost it due to a little bit of unfortunate circumstance where you know when they lost 2 to that Diva Bomb on first point, Bastion was behind a shield and the shield disappeared right as the bomb went off. They lost 2 people.
Ouch.
It was a little unfortunate, but yeah. Paranoia will be attacking first here because they did have less time. Looks like they're just going to go for straight goats. They know what they need to do, and I think actually Aspire is expecting goats because they're running the Junkrat.
Aspire now with the defensive high ground here, just trying to hold off the aggressive attack from Paranoia, coming around the bottom left-hand side immediately. Directly on the point, Paranoia wasting absolutely no time. 1 minute and 20 seconds for them as they're trying to contest this point. Tosh stunned early, gets pushed back. It's a good bubble there from Eternal Isles on the Zarya, but and is finally able to get a pin onto Steven. Things going really well, but finally does get taken down. It's a 5v5 here as now Tosh is down for Aspire. The defense continues to lose members, and Paranoia taking no prisoners, coming directly into point. Looking to get a little bit of space out of this. Purple Kid in a tough spot. Finally gets mowed down. Eternal Isles the next on the docket. They leave that Zarya for dead and start to take the point with 60 seconds left on the clock.
There was a little bit of a risky res there coming from Purple Kid. Just trying to go flying in res in the middle of a goat's brawl, which is a very scary thing to do, and I don't recommend doing it.
Yeah, hats off to Bloodfog on that first round.
Snowball.
Yeah, really solid from Bloodfog. Already has the Graviton quickly earned here for the Zarya and did a lot to contribute to that initial push. Now kind of in a tough spot though, as it's one more hit the other direction, really giving some problems in the back. Just a low health, and the Coalescence will not save Bloodfog. Man, that's huge. And one more hit getting in deep and able to get the threat there. The Mary God switched over to the Junkrat.
The Bridget off, really?
Right there.
Oh, actually, never mind. That was amazing. Never mind. I actually thought it was a horrible idea that they spent the Bridget out there, but somehow a solo Bridget ulting was enough to get them to spend basically Grav and Dragon, the only ults they could really have, besides the Shatter that's coming up to stop this Graviton. So, actually, this is actually not looking too bad for Paranoia. If they don't mess this up,
yeah, they'll have the Shatter, they've got the Graviton.
Big tank ultimates.
Yeah, there's a lot here. They'll have time to come back in and contest. There's the pin coming in from backside, catches the doorway, so can't quite get in. I think actually got caught in a trap as well, but Paradox is there to contest it. Yeah, there's the Graviton coming in from the attackers. The self-destruct coming through. They don't have a shield to help. Oh my god, there's the 3. Paranoia coming in. And I think they should be able to continue capping this. Nobody left for the defenders. They start to get a tick. There it is. Oh my god, Paranoia. What a final attack. Really well coordinated.
What kind of combination I want to see.
Pin straight back. Oh, Paranoia capping the point. Good stuff.
Dang, man. That was, I was talking about them struggling to combo their ultimates before earlier, and then that was an excellent combination. Grab them together, walking to the side, shattering them down when the Diva Ball went off. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
and now I think actually Spire is the one having. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, you're totally fine. What were you about to say?
I think it was like I think honestly, right there, I think Spire got a little spooked on that defense there, on that push there, because a single Bridget. Well, it was Bridget and like one or two other people, but it was nobody that could really cause the threat at that point. Bridget just ulting apparently scared them enough to spend the Grav Dragon onto it, which is that was their ace in the hole for defending that point. And they spent it, and they had nothing left. And now it looks like we're gonna have that bash defense again. I think honestly, doing the bash defense is a really good idea because it seemed like on first point, Aspire really didn't know how to handle it that well, and they took it mostly due to a little bit of luck.
So what's keeping Aspire from like running a Pharah here to try and deal with the Bastion? You know what I mean? Because they've got to expect it. They've run Paradox so effectively, but Aspire doesn't really use anything to try and counter that. They got the Diva, and obviously they do prioritize the Bastion. But when you've got the defensive high ground, like why not try and do something else? Or
because you can't really get to him with the Pharah here, because the Pharah has this really low ceiling, and Bastion's like fully shielded around with the damage boost. So you would never really be able to get close to him to do enough damage.
I got you.
This is my opinion.
And again, set up on that high ground, exactly right. Paradox making it difficult. Continuity kind of slips a little bit, gets back up. Shield not available for the Bastion, but raining in damage immediately. Already able to get Eternal Isles, and you know, just kind of more of the same here for Paranoia. Sticking directly to the script.
Like exactly what happened last time.
Yeah, exactly. She's able to get a quick pick early, but you don't have the same time bank now if you're Aspire to keep kind of letting them get those kind of early offset kills.
Like each time they pushed in this corner, they lost one person. It just burned so much time for them.
Yeah, Tosh again. You just can't run a shield directly into the staircase with a Bastion sitting there at the top. It's just you can't. There's just your shield won't make it. Tosh gets melted down. Almost the entire team from Aspire drops. Still 1 minute and 45 seconds though. They still did have the extra minute in their attack over.
Oh, they demech Diva though.
Paranoia.
That did pretty big. I feel like if I was Aspire, I'd go around this left side here, and then go up onto the stairs and kind of go up to the high ground and push the Bastion off.
They tried that in their first round, and again, it was Tosh that just got, even with the shield up, just melted down all the way through. And so Paradox, I think the target priority, they know exactly where, obviously, the targets are, and the order in which they need to take them down. They've really been prioritizing well. Here comes the tank mode for Paradox, just getting damage in. Nice shield there for Tosh, will keep it a little bit easier. The Dragon Strike from the attackers actually will offset this. Very nice there from Eddie Smurvy. Gets two. Steven and Vexside both down. They finally get Paradox. Here we go. Aspire getting directly into point now. Vexside tries to use the supercharge, but completely melted there. Now on a point, they've got a significant advantage. Aspire just trying to get to that 30-second additional time bank and to the second point to continue keeping this going. If they're able to cap with time on the second one, they'll be able to contest this to win the series. But yeah, they just need the time beforehand. 40 seconds though. Yeah, they definitely do have the ultimate they can stack. Not a lot here for the defenders. Bloodfog the closest, 81%. Steven right behind with the rally for Paranoia, but for the attackers, Tosh already has the Shatter 2% away, right? One more hit using the preemptive rally. They're trying to get to the point as quickly as possible. If they can cap this in 60 seconds, they'll have a chance to do the 5th round to win the game, go into the semifinals. Not a lot of time. Here comes the Coalescence, though, from the attackers. Tosh off to a fantastic start. Gets Bloodfog immediately.
Oh,
they get the res up. Steven's down, though, so it's still going to be a consistent 6v5. Backside dropping. A lot of members going down for Paranoia. Things already going the way of Aspire. They've gotten half the point already. Oh, my God. Kill feed lighting up completely blue for them. 27 seconds left. If anybody from Paranoia can come back and contest, they can hold on to this, but they can't do it. Steven can't get in, and now an opportunity for Aspire to win the game with just a single tick on the first point.
How much time do they have left? Oh, okay. No. They have less than a minute.
Oh, they do get time back. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, man. I was saying, like, what do you mean first thing?
I thought they only needed the one. My heart's racing. I couldn't handle it.
No. It's because they kept under a minute. The other teams get an extra minute.
That's true. I guess they wouldn't have like 10 seconds to get to A.
It's like, ah, you lose.
Yeah, that's alright. It's a drop. Khmer got back over to the Junkrat here for the defense for Aspire. I like that pick. I think that was effective. Haven't seen a lot of Junkrat in this game. Going back to the defensive Mei as well.
Actually, not too. Yeah, this can definitely work pretty well. Cause like it looks like they're pretty certain they're gonna run goats. So this is a pretty good composition against goats. You can throw the anti-nade down. You can spam it with Junkrat. You can slow things down with the Mei. This would be devastating for Aspire if Paranoia is able to cap this point and the rest.
Paranoia coming back out. Not a lot of time to work with, just the 60 seconds. And yeah, no bashing this time. Khmer getting a quick pick for Aspire though on a Paradox. It's huge for them.
Oh, they split up.
Paranoia right there on the doorstep of this left attacking side, but haven't quite committed to point yet.
They're not sure if they want to commit or not.
Yeah, trying to decide exactly what they want to do. They did lose one, so maybe they're just trying to figure out if they want to commit or recontest. I think they decided they don't have time to commit that. But now as they lose Steven, it's going to be even tougher though. They really don't have a choice now. They kind of have to get to point.
Yeah, for sure. Like that uncertainty really hurt them. They're gonna have a tire now on defense because all that time of spamming. They're gonna have a tire and just actually basically now.
Yep.
And that tire might alone end their push.
Doesn't need a lot with in order to completely shut this down. Coming from the top, goes for the tank immediately. Backside drops. It's a good target pick. Onto the point, but a nice Mei walk here will completely block out Constant Entity in a tough spot and purpled. And D.Va will not be long for this world. Kills going the way of Aspire. Ooh, yeah. Brutal there. Overtime meter starting to trickle down. That is it. Aspire with a nice defense there. See what they can do on their attack.
I think that uncertainty for Paranoia really hurt them. And so they basically only had one fight of the two potential. Never really fully got to point as a team.
Yeah, that was kind of pretty atypical from them. Really odd that obviously they lost the, I think it was Raven the Wolf possibly? No, it was Paradox on Brigitte. And yeah, just odd that they weren't able to quite decide exactly what they wanted to do. Obviously they weren't really in a position to contest it, but then they lost Steven on the Lucio. So it just kind of things fell apart there for Paranoia. We'll see how they respond to this.
Yeah, so now either it's going to be a yeah, it's either going to be a win for Aspire. Aspire takes this first tick here. They win the entire match. If Aspire does not take this one, that ends up being a tie. And we go to a fifth map on Nepal.
Well, Aspire is within just touching distance of that semifinal berth. As the 3 seed, they will be playing the 2nd seed Kinetics if they win this game. Paranoia will be facing off against Trash Cans. Or, yeah, Paranoia would be if they win the game.
Yes.
Still lots to play for though, and obviously Paranoia has shown some strong defensive efforts, winning the first game on Junkertown with the defense there at the end. So definitely not beyond them to defend. Not a lot of time, really. It's just a couple wins or a couple team fights they need in order to be able to take this. They're back with Paradox in the bash, and it's been again an effective strategy. And should they get a couple early kills like we saw Aspire do on their defense, obviously it starts to go a little bottoms up for Aspire. But again, directly through the staircase, they get the pin onto the bash, and that's huge. Tosh directly in, finds Paradox. That's exactly what they needed. Steven able to take down the Rhino the other direction. But they do res the Bastion though. Ooh, that could be just costly there for Aspire. But they got somebody backcapping. Somebody is on the point here for Aspire. I don't know who's back there.
Oh, they noticed it though.
Yeah, they finally got him brushed off. I think it was Eddie Smurfy possibly. I couldn't find out exactly who it was. But as Paranoia starts to drop off a little bit back to the point, 30 seconds left here for them. Just need to continue holding this, and Paradox is still set up in the corner. Able to pick up Eddie Smurfy, so things advantage here for Paranoia. On the front foot especially, and it's just Aspire looking for the perfect opportunity to come inside. They've got one more hit, 10% away from the rally. Eddie Smurfy close as well. Purple Kid already has a Coalescence. Ultimate's building for the other side though. Constant Entity here with the Rocket Barrage. Yeah, a lot of ultimates. It's going to be right down to this. Aspire just needs just a tick on the point. to qualify for the semifinals. Paranoia holding on for their lives here. Coalescence coming through from Purple Kid immediately. Tosh gets melted via the Rocket Barrage. Continental with a triple. Might have just saved it there for Paranoia. I don't know if Aspire's anybody coming back. Gamergod's able to take Blood Fog out of Mech. Paradox still getting the damage in. Gamergod can't get back. Overtime meter ticks down, and it's a draw. Paranoia forced the 5th match.
Going to map 5! Oh, that map, man.
Oh my god, that's crazy there from Paranoia. I can't believe they held on to that.
I know. Oh, that was the first one. Honestly, that grab was really scaring me, and they were really down the shatter, which took down like 3 people with the barrage. Oh.
Solid performance here from Paranoia, just holding on for their lives. If they can get the last one on Nepal, it'll force a 6th map, but Aspire having to wait a little bit longer for their semifinal berth. See if Paranoia can come back into this, but it's been a fantastic game so far. We'll be right back with the Console Gaming League Rival Tier Quarterfinals right after this. And welcome back to the Console Gaming League Rival Tier Quarterfinal between Aspire and Paranoia. This has been a fantastic game so far. Paranoia coming out very strongly, getting the win on Junkertown right off the bat. Aspire coming right back on Blizzard World, tying it up before taking it to Busan. A thrilling 3-round Busan match saw Aspire finally take that one and take the lead, but then Horizon Lunar Colony, Paranoia defending for their lives, forcing the draw and taking us to Game 5 on Nepal. And a lot to play for still. Paranoia could come back and win this. We'll go to a 6th map. Otherwise, it's Aspire punching their ticket to the semifinal to play Kinetics in the Rivals here. So a lot to play for. This has been a spectacular game. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Headrammer. And wow, at that last game, just so many fantastic team fights, the coordination, the momentum of these games going back and forth. It's been just spectacular to watch.
This last game, you've kind of seen hints of it like throughout the entire match today. That these teams are very close with each other. They each kind of like their own advantages, and they're playing to them very, very well. This last map though was crazy. You had Paranoia holding super strong their Bastion defense for a really, really long time. But then once the Spire took it, they snowballed it into second point and took it really fast. They ended up having more time, even though Paranoia held them for so long on first point. And then you have that. Honestly, that last fight was just crazy. Those last 2 pushes, with Paranoia being able to hold, because like we talked about their defense previously, and like how prior to this map it felt like their defense was struggling a little bit. But I think on this last point they really, really stepped it up. Now with this next map being Nepal, a control point map, I felt overall that Paranoia performed better on the control map. I felt like they really had it down on their Bastion play, and held very, very strong when they were doing it. Though due to a few circumstances of like their coronation kind of breaking up, I felt like that's really the only reason they lost Busan.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Completely agree. I think that I wouldn't say they deserved to win that game because obviously they didn't because they had a couple miscues there. But Paranoia definitely, if they had won that game, I wouldn't have been surprised by it. They looked really good, and it seemed like they were going to come away with that one. But yeah, hopefully they kind of think about where those mistakes were and shore it up a little bit. Pretty much sticking to the same kind of thing. If Paradox stays on the Bastion, they've got constant entity now over to a Reaper, and that could be a nice change of pace. I don't think that Aspire would see that coming necessarily. But we'll see if they decide to stick
Yeah,
with
it could
it.
really stop like be a little close play because a lot of times they're trying to push onto this Bastion, you're just like melt them down really fast. But if you have the Reaper up in your face, it could be a little bit more of a problem doing so. Because you don't really want to get close to that Reaper.
Yeah.
Actually, using these May walls on Spire's side actually potentially could help delay enough of the Bastion damage long enough they can get close.
When I think on this map specifically, you've got the really tight control point, and May seems to work really well here. I'm kind of surprised we don't see Paranoia running one, but using the Lucio to get in quickly. Both teams with the Lucio, but Paranoia deciding to go underneath initially. Point opens up at about 13 seconds or so. Both teams kind of poking and prodding. Vex that out a little bit early, looking to get a little bit of early ult charge. In a very tough spot though, Tasha will take down this opposite with the Fire Strike. That's huge for them. They missed the wall in Paradox, but he's still kind of stuck in the corner. Able to get the kills though. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I think they just missed the wall positioning there, and Paradox is able to wrap up. Good kills for Paranoia. They take control of the point first. And yeah,
I was just scared of them honestly. When that Ryan went in for the pin, the pin was like at point blank range, and he still got killed before he could reach the Bastion.
There's so much damage from
Looks
Paradox.
like Eddie Smurfy has switched over to a Pharah now.
Yeah, I think it would have worked out for them, but again, it's just this point especially is just tough, and they missed the wall with May, so they get that up and it goes a completely different direction. Paradox got 3 kills in that fight, so yeah, hard to tell. Now as Aspire starts to come back in, what's that?
As I said, I think they've realized that the Bastion's not really pointing up to the air. They can probably get away with the Fair a little bit easier.
Used the wall in the corner, but Paradox has also kind of repositioned himself, gets away from it easily, and I don't know if May's been as effective as they would have liked, or they thought he would have been, or she would have been coming out. Now it's wall over the top, still not quite able to get the Bastion, but finally it does drop. There we go. There's the wall we're looking for. Eternal Isles getting the final kill there. It's a Shatter coming in though from Vex side, catches a couple Isles among them. High charge here from Bloodfog on the Zarya. It looks like Paranoia will maintain control of the point. They've got the Graviton available. Will they invest it? Hard to say. No, I think they've got the kills here.
Oh, they still shattered.
Yeah, not quite investing everything. Tosh trying to do everything he can, but still in a very tough spot and now incredibly isolated. Yeah, 68, 70%. Paranoia looking good. Still get the res back through onto Steven. We got the Bastion back. They've got 3 ultimates. A couple ultimates, though. Actually, it'll be 4 by the time this next fight breaks out for Aspire. One more hit, Blizzard could effectively shut down Paradox easily, so we'll see if they anticipate that. They've got the Graviton. They'll have Eddie Smurfy Barrage as well, so definitely opportunities here.
Definitely super dangerous though to get up close as Pharah, because if you want to run there and like barrage the Bastion, that's gonna be very difficult. He has a little bit of the armor. He's up. He just does so much burst damage.
Well, obviously there are maps where Pharah works on a Paul. I don't think this is one of them. But Paradox now in the middle of the Blizzard. They go directly for it. There's the all ultimates all over the place. Constantly with the Blossom catches 2. One more hit. Finally was able to take down the Paradox, like we said. And yeah, no, Paranoia is still with the advantage though. They're just cleaning up kills. I think it's just Eternal Isles left. Vexside getting kind of melted here a little bit. Zarya now without a personal bubble, looking for any kind of damage. Smurfy with him as well. Vexside by himself. They still have the point though. Finally, they take down that Reinhardt and start to cap the point. Aspire with their first percentage.
That Zarya was 1 HP.
Yeah, almost saw that go the way of Busan round 1 where they lost 100 to nothing. But now Aspire with some time on the clock, or with some percentage on the point rather. Paradox with an ultimate though for the attacker's Paranoia, uses it immediately from the top, and they've got Tosh who's got a shield up. I don't know if that Bastion ult's gonna be able to eliminate the shield at all. Eternal Isles up very far forward. Yeah, maybe got some damage through, but I think maybe just using that to split,
but they're back happened.
Split the defense or something. Yeah, I think they probably could have waited on that ultimate, but regardless, Aspire still in here. Paranoia coming in. They've got the purple kid coalescence coming out now. The defenders do. Just Aspire trying to keep everybody up. They've got the shatter from Tosh.
Also the shatter.
Expect the peeler on the corner. Nice preemptive sound barrier though, or mid fights from Steven. Gets the shatter. Two with the shatter, but I think Vexside kind of blocks most of it from the rest of the team. Paradox now caught with Vexside in the Graviton. Eternal Isles just trying to put in damage. Will find the Bastion. Here comes the shatter into Isles though. I think the only one there available for the shatter. Vexside absolutely popping off right now.
Yeah, really. They're doing a very good job keeping him up.
Now in overtime, they've got to get back to point. One more hit, doing his level best, but very low on health. Finally does drop. Nobody close for Paranoia, I don't think. Or for Aspire, rather. Tosh may be able to get there. Pushed away by Steven on the Lucio, kind of buffeted it back, and that's it. Paranoia able to take this first point on Nepal. The plot thickens that river.
Very impressive. I know. You know, I'm not in either of these teams, but I'm actually getting really invested in this.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a series so far.
These are the types of games I love. I love how close these are. Like, it increases my blood pressure, and it's probably not healthy for me doing this on these types of games, but I'm living for it.
It's been a spectacular series so far, really giving us our money's worth, quote unquote.
Yes, yes.
Definitely worth the price of admission.
Yeah, let me just slip a 20 to one of these teams real quick.
I Constantine back over in the fair. I think it's going to be, are they, maybe they expected the fair on the other side, but now it's Aspire deciding not to run one. Still the Bastion play. I think this is a better fair map relative to Bastion, along with Sanctum, whatever it is. But now Eddie Smurfy very low, took it direct, is able to get away and kind of stay up a little bit. Aspire positioning themselves on the point very early on into that, to the far side, to try and create a good position as the point starts to open up here in about 5 seconds or so. Nobody yet dropping. It's Paradox on the high ground though, largely uncontested, able to get a lot of the damage through into the point. But again, I don't think anybody's died yet. Paradox,
yeah, but these ultimates are really built fast.
Yeah.
It's almost our constant entity already almost has a barrage.
One more hit close to rally as well. Aspire, like they did in Busan though, coming back out on the second round and trying to take control first here. Pin in onto Raven the Wolf. That was huge there from Taj. Aspire keeps looking like they're about to take this point, but then the reinforcements coming back in from Paranoia. Constant entity with a triple. Actually getting 4, I think, onto Tosh. And they're going to completely take the point back. Oh my god, I thought Aspire was going to be able to handle that, but man, Constant Entity with a fantastic quad wipes the point and earns Paranoia the percentage.
Raven's been really able to get off these reses. Because a lot of times Bastion might fall, or Reinhardt, and then they let the fight go on, and then they're able to bring the person back up later when no one's paying attention, even though Raven did get pinned this time. Yeah,
the support play's been really solid. Steven's had some clutch sound barriers, using another one here. Here comes the tank mode into the Graviton Surge. Tosh the only one caught, and this Paradox just all over the place. Will get that Reinhardt, and does. Kill steal going the way here of Paranoia, and even if the kills aren't going through, Vexite in very deep and could get punished for that. Ooh, yeah, I think maybe a bit of an overinvestment, but still the members from Paranoia far enough out, getting Gamera got out of mech, and that's going to be big for them. Again, getting the res through, Paradox back up, and Paranoia will continue to hold.
Now, Aspire does have a lot of ults. They do have the Shatter, they have Diva Bomb, they have Sound Barrier. They definitely have stuff they can use to take this point. The bomb can be pretty effective against the Bastion just because he's not usually as mobile. But they are very close to this grab.
Here comes another Constant Entity barrage from behind, completely eliminating Tosh. The bubble will help a little bit, but Eddie Smurfy able to get the kill there. 5v5 now on the point. The Valkyrie goes up for Raven the Wolf. The fight kind of all over the place, but Aspire's starting to get the kills they need. Paradox down, that's big for them, but another res from Raven the Wolf will get Constant Entity back into the fold. Ooh, they were able to get the Graviton off. Oh man, I thought Bloodfog was going to miss that. Regardless, it still went just as wasted because nobody was there to follow up. Graviton coming in from Aspire, catches Vexite in a tough spot, will drop. I think Aspire should be able to flip this point back, but not a lot of time to work with. 76, 77% as Paranoia continues contesting. Finally, we'll flip the point back. 79% gone for the red team, and Aspire just trying to hold on in this game.
Yeah, this is pretty much... Cool. This is like 2 fights, so like if Paranoia takes it, there's probably like 1 more fight after that potentially, but it's gonna be a close one. A lot of ultimates invested in that last one. Now Purple Kid is gonna have a Transcendence here, but he could be under a lot of pressure with all this damage that's come out.
A lot of pressure, but if they don't notice that he switched to the Zenyatta, there's not been a lot of Zen play, you know, since Blizzard World, so, you know, how conscientious will they be of that? There goes the Shadow. I think most of it went into the shield of Tosh. Going in for the pin now. There's Gamera God's Transcendence. I think just trying... I like that mid-fight use. Obviously, Constant Entity, though, has the Rocket Barrage. Here it comes, waiting for the end of that Transcendence. Not quite able to catch anybody with it, though, and will get eliminated. Oh, I think maybe actually killed himself with one of the accessories there on the top. A kill still going the way of Paranoia. Self-destruct from Gamera God doesn't quite fall, but one more hit and Eternal Isles combined to continue holding on to the point for Aspire.
And they will go into the Doomfist now off of the Pharaoh.
I think it's good.
To really cause that 1-hit potential chaos.
Yeah, and Constant's been playing a really good Doomfist, so I think just having the, you know, the threat kind of in the mix there is going to make it
Purple Kid off
Right,
of the
first
Zen over the Mercy now.
Oh no! I think it was it Gamera got on this end that went over to Diva, another triple tanking.
I don't think so.
No, Raven
I could be
Wolf
wrong.
now. There goes the Graviton and the Shadow. They missed the Shadow though. Shadow the other direction. Paradox able to get 2 kills though, and I think that might offset it for Paranoia. They kind of looked rough there for a second, but I mean, Eddie Smurfy able to come back in, get the res through, but yeah, constant entity on the Doomfish just wreaking havoc once again. 84, 85% for Aspire, but Paranoia looks like they're about to take this back, and they do. 20% now for Aspire to come back and
interesting
contest this.
combination. So there's a bunch of people in that Graviton, and then they shattered them flanking from behind, and Bash was just ulting at point blank range, firing in their faces.
He's earned those so quickly.
And they do have
too.
the grab. They might be able to grab and make them not touch.
Haven't used it yet. They do have it available though. 96%. Here we go. I think they actually did catch everybody outside. 98, 99%. They do force the overtime. It's Gamera got able to get in over the top on the Diva. A lot of kills still going the way of Paranoia though. Both reses out for either side as they get Paradox and Eddie Smurfy back up respectively. Another self-destruct coming in from Gamera got the Diva. Looking for anything. Finds Paradox. It's a big pick here for Aspire. But the entire point is just red for Paranoia. And they will take this game and force game 6. That's
Oh, this is crazy.
That's insane.
We're going to, let me double check the map here, make sure I don't get it incorrect. We're going to Oasis.
Ooh, another control point.
And actually,
Paranoia.
with how yeah.
Ooh. What were you about to say?
How things are going to control point, how things are going to control point for Paranoia, even though they lost their control point, I feel like this would be an advantage for them.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously now we've seen both teams each win a control point. So yeah, really completely up in the air. I don't know who's gonna be able to take this one. Oasis is a tough map. You see a lot of those 99-99s. Yeah, really anybody's game at this point. Man, guys, stick around. Edge of your seat stuff here. And really excited to bring this to you. This is the last playoff game of this week, and it's definitely a doozy. We'll be right back with Aspire and Paranoia in the rival tier quarterfinals from the Console Gaming League.
Wait.
Nope. Welcome back, guys, to the Console Gaming League, the rival tier quarterfinal. Aspire and Paranoia all knotted up here 2-2, and this game has been spectacular so far. I've really enjoyed watching it. Paranoia just climbing out of the grave almost, basically. Just almost completely put away Aspire, doing a really good job, but coming back and getting the win on Nepal, and a convincing 2-0 win that forces the 6th map on Oasis after getting the draw on Horizon Lunar Colony. So this Paranoia team will not go away, and Aspire really having to work for this. Paranoia going to show they can do it too, and should they win this game, they'll be facing the #1 seed, Trash Cans. So lots to play for here. The other two winners, or the winners from the other side, the other game rather, don't know yet who they're playing because it's all contingent upon this game. And man, it's been just so fun to watch so far. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Headrammer, and whatever you, hopefully you have a little bit of time to get it taken care of, whatever that was, but what did you think about Nepal, man? Like, what's your takeaway? We're about to go to Oasis, forcing the 6th map. Second 6th map game in this. I know they didn't
crazy.
Go to 6,
so. This is absolutely crazy. Really showing that Paranoia really has a unique strategy for control, and it's their Bastion play. They play around it very, very well, and it's one of those constant threats that it's almost like it kind of reminds me to a degree like a Sombra, except in a different way. The Sombra, you're always kind of like looking around where Sombra is, because she might be hacking you, trying to disable you. In this sense, that you have the entire rest of the team as a big threat, and you have the Bastion. If you leave the Bastion alone for any period of time, and you're just like not paying attention to where he is, he'll put down so much damage. He'll just delete your squishies, and even tanks and shields just like that. It's just it's crazy, and it's because like you need to have a really active idea of where he is and how you gotta take him out. Because you have to have coordination to take him out of the team. Because he has that armor, he's in that mounted form, so he doesn't take headshot damage. You just need to go in and like, completely burst him down in some kind of way. But when he's behind these shields, he's getting off these reses on him. It can be very difficult, and it feels like he's never not there to do a double negative there. And it's very difficult. And I don't think Aspire's fully cracked how they want to handle it. I think they've cracked how they can handle one of them. It seems like they struggle a little bit trying to deal with like a double threat from a Bastion and whatever the other main DPS and the rest of the team is. Now we go to our 6th and final map, Oasis. It looks like we do have the ready up from both teams.
Nice. Yeah, this is it. All comes down to this final map, and again, if you're just joining us, it's been a back and forth affair between the 3-seed Aspire and the 6-seed Paranoia. Paranoia, if you're not familiar with the history of playing a wildcard game to try and get the qualification for the 6th seed against Ironclad, had that last week, convincing win on Lijiang, got them into this game. And honestly, like I'll be the first to say, I thought that Aspire was going to run away with this, and I thought that they were going to be kind of the favorite to win this tier. But Paranoia showing, I think it's been more about how strongly Paranoia's played and not how poorly Aspire's played. Both teams have played well, but Paranoia just coming out on a completely different level and really kind of just ramping up through the gears. So it's been fun to watch. And yeah, they were able to take the first point on, or the first game on Junkertown. Aspire came back winning 2, took the lead. Paranoia forced the draw on Horizon, then 1 on Nepal to tie it up, and here we are on Oasis.
Yeah, it really can show what a team can do when their backs are pushed up against the wall. Because you mentioned it, a Paranoia had to fight for even the 6th seed. They were tied in both map points, win-loss ratio, and had never did a head-to-head with the other team in the contention, Ironclad, for the 6th seed. They had to play Ironclad just to figure out if they could be the 6th seed. They won that, and now they come to this game taking the team that's three seeds above them to game 6. It's really impressive play. If they win this one, it'll really be interesting to see if they can ride the momentum into their next game. I'm a little biased, so I hope they don't ride into the next game if they do win this one, because it's my team they play if they win.
Yeah, definitely an impressive story here from Paranoia, and I'd like to see them go the distance now. Definitely, it's been a lot of fun to watch this team play, but still a lot of work to do here on Oasis. Aspire coming out with Tosh on the Reinhardt. I thought for a second we'd see Tosh on the Winston. Plays a good Winston, and I thought maybe we'd see a little bit more classic Aspire, but now coming out with the Zarya Ryan combo. They've got Gamera God in the sky on Pharah. And I like the Hanzo. I actually like this combo coming out from Aspire. I think they could find a lot of value. Early swaps coming in. Constantity, who's been really solid on the Doomfist, coming back through. Paradox not quite able to find the same kind of success, though, on the Bastion as Gamera God in the Pharah. It takes him down immediately. Control point opening up now. I think actually Aspire have the numbers advantage here, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe a 5v4.
Paradox goes the Widow now. Get off the Bastion, realize the Pharah is a threat.
Yeah, early swaps coming in though from Paranoia. Exactly right. Paradox now going over to the Widow could be better, more effective. Still the point's not won yet. Constantity finally taken down by Gamera God, who's doing a really solid job in the sky. Already 13%, excuse me, away from a Rocket Barrage. And Aspire will cap the point first.
Yeah, it was pretty decently long little first fight there. They lost that Mercy super early, which kind of really hurt them.
Yeah.
So wasn't able to provide that kind of like pocket healing to the Bastion or the rest of their team members.
Stun onto Vex side, trying to come through. Stun the other way onto Tosh. There's a shatter for the ladder. Reinhardt been able to find Vex side regardless. Oh my god, here. Oh, Vex side. Just complete cleanup here from Aspire. Wait, what? They got the shatter off, and it looked like
it's still trading.
Oh my god! Yeah, I don't know how they were able to maintain control of that.
Well, they've lost it now, but what it looked like is the people got shattered, but then Doomfist killed one, Widow killed like 2 people, and they were all unaffected by the shatter. So bringing it really close up to even, but the shatter really took a lot of the rest of Paranoia super low. Which then they ended up losing the Mercy, and after that they pretty much had lost it.
Now a lot of ultimate stack for both sides. It's almost 5 or 6 here for Paranoia as they start to come back in. Going for the shatter though, finally able to find it. There we go. I think there was a oh my god. I think there's a
Oh,
couple ultimates negated in that, but still kills just going either way. Hard to tell who really has the advantage, but still Aspire hold on to the point. Yeah, I think they do just wipe that.
yeah, definitely. Well,
All
actually,
members still alive in Paranoia, but not close to point. Gamera got on the Pharah, just really giving them a lot of issues.
I'll get that Mercy again.
Constant Entity.
They've been doing a really good job at focusing down Raven on the Mercy.
Well, honestly, we were just talking about how strong Raven's been and be able to get the reses through and keep the fights going, so... Yeah, not shocking at all. They consider that a priority now that Paradox has switched off the Bastion. Now it's a Paranoia Graviton coming through. Constant Entity trying to take full advantage, getting directly in. Vexide swinging away, but no kills really going the way of Paranoia just yet. Now in overtime already as Aspire start this map very, very strongly. Still members on the point. Look like it's mostly Paranoia. There's a purple kid Valkyrie up in the air that I think is actually just shooting away. Mary getting a couple kills. Vexide trying to answer one back, but Aspire still look like they have the upper hand here.
For this entire time, the point's still not flipped.
Dragon Strike goes through harmlessly through the center of the point. Paranoia still haven't been able to get the advantage. Paradox putting in some work though, able to get 2 quick headshots on the pharmacy, and that could offset things for the red team.
There's so many ults being spent on both sides.
Yeah, Paradox definitely put in some work.
I think it's not Spire. I think Paranoia is finally taking it here.
Yeah, but they just need to focus on the kills faster because a lot of reinforcements keep coming through from Aspire. You know, they've got one more kid who's difficult to kill in the Brigitte. They still have the points, so we may see additional content. Nope. Constant Entity
There's a
finally will
lot
take
of
down the
ults on the
Brigitte,
side
but
of Spire.
yeah, they were able to build quite a few there. Vexide will be close to a shadow. They've got both support ultimates though for Paranoia, so if they maybe invest those and kind of like, or don't invest both of them, but they're able to get through this next fight. And it could be in an okay spot.
Yeah, they need to survive this grab because it's either gonna be a grab dragon and a grab barrage, and it's gonna be nasty.
Yep.
If they get caught in it, or if too many get caught in it.
Valkyrie immediately up for Raven the Wolf. Support ultimate going in preemptively. Constant Entity trying to cause problems here on the Doomfist. Paradox able to get a quick pick, but they get the res.
No, they missed the sound barrier. Both tubes bubble shatters.
Tosh thing trying to get away maybe a little bit. Meteor Strike coming in from Constant Entity doesn't quite catch this Graviton here from Aspire. There's the Rocket Barrage from Gamera, got in from the back, able to catch Vexide. Aspire getting the kills though. Yeah, Paranoia. Don't have a lot of representation. Bloodfog the only one left. Looks like the point flipping back here for Aspire. Yeah, kill feed going completely blue for them. They should be able to cap this first point. Overtime Meteor should shoot down immediately once they clear this off. Yeah, there's nobody there. Pinned in from deep
I
from
think
Tosh.
wasn't the sole reason, but I think when Paranoia used their sound barrier aggressively, that really kind of hurt them because they had nothing to counter to survive those other 2 tank ultimates. Because they used their sound barrier aggressively, they pushed forward when none of those ultimates had been used. It didn't really look like everybody was super low. I don't know if it was a kind of a panic ult or what, but it kind of I think that kind of hurt them. Point is that.
Now, so Aspire can do now what they were not able to do on Horizon and punch their ticket to the semifinals. Paranoia trying to get back into it. We saw them really strongly on control points, previously. So, hopefully they can turn this around. But Aspire right now just already 1 foot in the finals, or in the semifinals rather. Do not count out this Paranoia side. I made that mistake, right?
Definitely not. If they
Clearly.
Yeah, last time they weren't able to get their Bastion set up. So maybe if they get their Bastion set up this time, they'll get a much better situation.
Yeah, like a good bit of high ground over the point here. We'll see if that's effective. This is a notorious 99-99 map. Constant Entity off the Doomfist back over to the Pharah, causing problems immediately and trying to get in. Tosh going in for a pin, doesn't quite find it. And Paradox is able to take full advantage. Taking down that Reinhardt. They're going for the res. Purple Kid in a very difficult spot, but Paradox is forced to retreat. Man, fortunate they were able to get that pick there, or the pickup. I thought that, right in front of the Bastion, going for res is going to be difficult. They're able to keep the Bastion up, but only slightly. He's forced back into the corridor, and I think obviously Aspire have capped the point now. It's just, yeah, obviously they weren't quite able to kill Paradox, but they were able to zone him out enough to make him ineffective, and that's definitely going to be the strategy from Aspire if they want to go on to win this.
For sure.
Still, Hardy has an ultimate though. Rally coming through now from the point defenders. One more kid on the Brigitte using that. Tosh has a shatter, but can't quite use it yet. Still, ultimate's building quickly for Aspire, and I like how effective they've been in these early team fights. 32% gone. Constant Entity in the sky, able to get a kill. Now it's a ultimate coming through from Paradox. Constant finds another kill in the garage, but Gamera is able to take him down the other direction. Paradox keeps finding some odd positions to use this Bastion on. Keeps getting up there.
Oh, they traded!
They trade.
Oh, the res got canceled. Raven's res got canceled by the Bridget.
Yeah, Tosh went in really deep there.
No one's taking point.
I can't find anybody who's on the point right now.
Okay.
Nobody is on the. There we go.
However, Paranoia had to spend a lot to take that point. If you look right now, Aspire is sitting on 4 heavy ultimates. Now, we'll have to see if they can get off a good grab or a shatter here to maintain the control of the point. Bridget going up alone. I don't really know if I agree with that.
Ooh, that was an unfortunate shatter. Vexside optimistic, but finally does hit the pin on the Eternal Isle, so it's going to count for them regardless, man. Able to turn nothing into something there. The shatter didn't quite catch, but able to get the pin off, and now Paranoia holds on to the point.
That's just been shatter and grab in that same engagement there, which I'm not sure if they're using 2 of their big ultimates. Usually, if possible, you want to be able to like kind of win off of one ultimate or like kind of swap them back and forth. You use the graviton in one fight, use the shadow in the next, and kind of keep swapping.
Yeah, and the timing does not favor them, and their positioning does not allow them to be this far forward. But Constant Entity already getting off to a good start for Paranoia, getting a kill. They get the res onto Tosh, and Gamera God answers one back. Oh my God, there's the Rocket Barrage. And actually a lot of ultimates invested here by Aspire as well. They still haven't capped the point or really gotten close. They're able to get the res from Raven onto the Bastion, who dies again immediately. Purple Kid with a nice heads up play there. Get some of that damage through while in a elevated position. Could be high risk, high reward strategy. Purple Kid on the Mercy, able to get 2 kills in that fight, and Aspire will cap the point.
Did go just a little bit above them for now. I think the ultimate advantage is. No, that's the ultimate advantage. That's pretty close to each other here, so I don't think really any team has the advantage in ults. We'll just have to see, because it looks like oftentimes Paranoia takes a long time to get set up to attack. So I think the time is a little more on the clock for them.
Preemptive rally coming through. What I see happening is if Paranoia is smart about their ultimates and can force some from Aspire on this attack and conserve some, then they'd be able to turn this back around and win it. But now as a shadow comes through, Vexside caught, Deadeye from Constant Entity switches it back, so still 5v5 here. The res from Raven again successful. Vexside back into the fight, and Eddie Smurfy is as well. Back to all square, 6v6. Constant Entity making the most of that opportunity, taking down one more hit. Now 98, 99%. We're in overtime for Aspire. They are an overtime meter away from punching a ticket to the semifinals. Paranoia coming back strongly. Vexside with the double, getting a couple kills. They're halfway to recapping this point. Just the Mercy left. Purple Kid falls and the point flips back. 20% away, or 30% away now for Paranoia. Trying to get back into this game. Aspire know that they just need to really win one more team fight and that'll do it. But Paranoia will not make it easy. Will definitely be in double overtime here. Shatter available for the red team. Paranoia and Paradox with another ultimate. The rally on the way for Steven. For the current point attackers, Eddie Smurfy and Purple Kid both close.
Yeah, actually both teams have every all they need to do both of these things.
Yeah, it's just hanging by a thread here. Paradox with a very quick kill, but then completely negated by Gamera God, who's able to get the Rocket Barrage. Just a swap there, 5v5 as we enter over. Oh my God, they weren't on the point. Paranoia. Oh my God. They take the second round because Aspire wasn't on the point. That's ridiculous. How do they not engage that? No, you can't.
If Aspire loses this next round, they're gonna be biting themselves in the butt for that one.
Oh, you gotta. Oof. You gotta more awareness than that. That's. Ouch.
Oh.
That's tough. Man, right down to it now. This is it. 6-game, 2-2, 1-1 in the map, and Paranoia given a huge lifeline in this game. Absolutely no reason. Oh, man. I'm not going to say they didn't deserve to get that map, but not like that, man. Not like that. That's crazy.
I think my heart's going to give out. Pretty sure.
Now coming back, final round in this series. Quarterfinal or semifinal hopes on the line for both of these teams. Paranoia clawing tooth and nail to stay in it, and Aspire doing everything they can to try and get through. Hanzo's with kills on either side. It's a 5v5 here as it's already Aspire set up a little bit better on the point. Res coming back from Paradox. Vexside, yeah, just not looking good for Paranoia. Though as I say that, their DPS are still putting in the work, even if the tanks are kind of in a tough spot. Paradox and Constant Entity both doing a really solid job to get some space for Paranoia, and I think they'll take the point first. Gamera got melted. Purple Kid in a tough spot on the Anik here. Finds a little bit of safety, though.
That's the best thing that could have happened to you. having the point first when you have that Bastion
Yep.
who likes to set up like that is excellent for you.
Stagger kills on
It's much
both of
harder
the
to attack.
supports. Yeah, you're exactly right. Paradox is in a really good position here. Paranoia off to a great start. Every single person around 50% to an ultimate. And, you know, when does the panic start setting in if you're Aspire? Knowing how difficult that Bastion's been to deal with all game.
Yeah, I think. I think losing that one there because you just gotta keep looking on that Bastion. It's not easy. Trying to hold these corners. Like if you're Reinhardt, you need to turn the corner and then pin, which is not easy.
Tried it, caught the pin, but it was in the Vex side who got
happen.
bubbled by his
Oh,
Zarya there. They get the Zarya, the Gravazon back through. God, I can't even talk right now. They got the Nano though onto Tosh, who could cause some problems. Finds a Shadow, but doesn't find anybody in it. Swinging away though, and still has a purple to help him out. Wipes constant entity. Vex side getting a little bit, able to get 2 kills there. Raven with another resurrection. Paranoia still with the advantage. Yeah, Vex side completely just negated there. I think dropped down to the bottom. Not Vex side. It was Vex side. Yeah, dropped down to the bottom, taken out of the fight. Didn't matter though. Paranoia had it. 60%. And, you know, eventually that 60 turns into 70, turns into 80. They got another kill into Gameragon. Paranoia just turning the screw right now, kicking it into a higher gear than we've seen this game. Tosh trying to do anything he can. Paradox with yet another ultimate. Gets one more hit. Vex side taking down his opposite. Paranoia rolling right now. Aspire completely just on their heels. Can't find a way back into the game. 78, 79, 80%. It's not going to be a 99 to nothing though. Come on. Ultimate's available for Aspire. They've got to get back in this game.
They have the ultimate they need, but like as you mentioned, when they get nervous, I would get nervous a little bit now because like if you lose this next fight, you lose.
Yep, this is it right here. Paranoia, a very good opportunity to get back into the semifinals. Dragon Strike coming through directly through the defensive Graviton, so they weren't quite able to capitalize. Just 2 kills. Now Aspire getting a couple back. There we go. Constant Entity finding the kill, but all the kills going the way of Aspire. Now in overtime, they flip this point back. Can they hold on?
Looks like Paranoia's coming up on the Grav, Shatter. I spent their Dragons, which I'm not fully sure if I would have wanted to if I were them. But they actually have quite a lot of ults they could use to retake this point. Ooh.
Vex
early
with
pick on the
early
Bridget.
pick. Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
There's
Aspire.
no mercy to bring it back.
Yeah, that's they. There goes the Shadow directly into Steve, and Aspire trying to get anything they can. Vex side finds a kill into Purple Kid. It's already an advantage. Paranoia on the point here. They start to take it back. Eternal Isles trying to contest. They got Gameragon in the mix, but I don't know if anybody is available really. Oh, look at the coordination from Paranoia. Just the target focus. 5-6 the way cap in this point. They finally do in overtime. It starts to drop down. Can anybody get back? They've got a Graviton to stave everybody off. Purple Kid, the closest one. Overtime meter drops. Paranoia going to the Rival Tier semifinals. Oh my god. What a game for them.
Oh, man.
Back and forth, and just fought back so hard so many times to take this. They got the wildcard game. They beat Ironclad, coming through and beating the 3 seed behind Paradox on this Bastion and fantastic team coordination. Oh, Paranoia are your Rival Tier quarterfinal winners. Oh, what a game, man. Just all over the place.
The pin across
The pin. Man. Just the elation for
over.
Paranoia, devastating here for Aspire. And we'll try and dissect that just incredibly lengthy match. We come back. This is just I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. Spectacular performance. We'll be right back with the just conclusion of these Rival Tier quarterfinals right after this. Oh, welcome back. What a game. Rival tier quarterfinal between Aspire and Paranoia ends with the 6 seed Paranoia Giant Killers taking down the 3 seed Aspire. And I mean, obviously, apologies first and foremost to Paranoia for thinking that Aspire were going to be able to just coast through these playoffs and proved me completely wrong, coming out very strongly and looked like a very good team. I'm excited to see what they have in the semifinal game against the Trash Cans. And Headrammer, you better watch out, man, because this Paranoia team is coming for you. They're coming for you, but
I know.
Really solid matchup, guys.
Next.
I'm excited for that game. We'll get into that in a little bit. Headrammer, just quick thoughts about this. We're about to do the post game where we'll have the captain of Paranoia, Steven 12346, play a little bit of Lucio and support very well for Paranoia. We'll have him on just talking about that game and obviously the emotions. 2.5 hour long game, but keeping the focus and getting the win. Really solid from them. But Headrammer, just shortly before we get into the post game, your takeaways from that match.
Yeah, I think that was just an insane match to watch. It was back and forth kind of at every turn. I think Paranoia really had their control maps down. With how many control maps are run, especially in the situations where it goes to this overtime, I think that really kind of benefited them. And I do think that pretty much throughout the entirety of the game, it felt like Aspire never fully got a handle on how to manage Bastion. At least how to manage Bastion the way that Paranoia was running Bastion. Because he was just laying down so much damage, and like the life of a main tank in this meta is already very, very difficult. When you put a Bastion into that, just like constantly breaking your shield, it is ridiculously hard to do. And like you saw, pretty much the only times they really got rid of Bastion was when the entire team focused him down, but oftentimes they lost the person while doing that, or if Reinhardt was able to get close enough to pin him and kind of catch him off guard. But he was kind of like around those corners all the time, making it very risky to do. And just back and forth. I think Paranoia got better as the game went on. I felt in the beginning their defense was a little bit rough, but it felt like it really improved throughout each match, especially kind of topping off on Horizon. And I don't think Aspire played bad. I think that obviously overall they played pretty good. I just think it was just more than struggling to handle Bastion.
Yeah, that Bastion was definitely killer, and Paradox doing a really solid job, really kind of the difference maker for Paranoia. But yeah, we've got a lot of content coming up, guys. We'll get to some of the highlights from that game and the captain of Paranoia, Steven. Right after this, we'll get you into the CGL post game. Don't go anywhere.
They're gonna have to get over the point here.
Yeah, Vexite doing just that, getting into the point very quickly. Here comes the Graviton, though, that catches a lot of the defenders. There's the Dragon Strike directly through a triple kill for Continenty, and Paranoia comes storming back onto the point.
They're traded, but still, kind of maybe a little bit of lack of awareness of where the fight was.
Another Dragon Strike from the attackers. Continenty looking for a couple finds, too, and then gets the kill into Tosh. It's a triple kill here for Continenty. But now it's Abdic down as well, and the Pharah for Cataclysm.
But still, kind of maybe a little bit of lack of awareness.
Strike, and you could actually just do it all one fell swoop. There comes the attacking Graviton, finds a few, the EMP directly in, but I don't know if they had everybody coordinated. Here comes the Graviton from the top.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Got two, one more hit and Purple Kid. Both supports are down now for Aspire. Possibly overtime meter looking to shoot down immediately. Backside swinging away. Final blows left and right. Overtime meter trickles down, and that is it. Paranoia with the first win on Junkertown.
Looks like they've actually swapped off the Sombra for Paranoia, and they've gone to the Kree instead. But they just realized they're not going to win that battle and decide to put a little pressure on the Kree.
Trademark late contest coming in, though, from Paranoia, getting the double from Continenty. The EMP and a Transcendence coming out. Another lot of offers from Aspire, but a gigantic shatter from Tosh. Look at all the assists, though, in the feed. Reinhardt swinging away, and yeah, that's going to be Aspire taking a condensed approach here from Paranoia. Finally, Continenty does drop, shatter the other direction. Tosh, for not the first time this game. Eternal Idols getting the feed as well.
So looking for that big ultimate combination. It just immediately kills Zarya.
EMP again from Gameragod, catches a couple. Eddie Smurfy up over the top with the triple kill, quadruple kill right there for Aspire. They do get the res back up, but what a huge pin there from Tosh. And then the shatter coming through. This Reinhardt absolutely popping off right now. Oh my god. Look at the kills for Aspire. Shatter from Vexite gets directly into the shield from Tosh. Goes in for a deep pin and will find it, but now completely without the rest of his team. Graviton coming through here from Aspire, and there's the self-destruct from Chimera God. What a triple. And I think Aspire's going to hold on to this point. Aspire will find one more hit. It's big for them. Can't quite get the punch, though, onto Purple Kid. Still going after that Moira and getting the double.
Shatter canceled.
Really going the way of Paranoia right now. Paradox directly onto Tasha immediately and just has him in his sights. Paradox dropping down, now coming around from the back. It could be dirty, though. They look at the kill into Eddie Smurfy. The kill's just going the way of Paranoia again. And Aspire just looks so fragmented. Start coming through. They don't have a shield to help. Oh my god, there's the 3. Paranoia coming in. And I think they should be able to continue capturing this. Nobody left for the defenders. They start to get a tick. There it is. Oh my god, Paranoia. What a final attack. Really well coordinated.
Kind of combination.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates. It's going to be right down to this. Aspire just needs just a tick on the point to qualify for the semifinals. Paranoia holding on for their lives here. Coalescing's coming through from Purple Kid immediately. Tosh gets melted via the Rocket Barrage. Constant Entity with a triple. Vexite kind of blocks most of it from the rest of the team. Paradox now caught with Vexite in the Graviton. Eternal Isles just trying to put in damage. Will find the Bastion. Here comes a Shatter into Isles, though. I think the only one there available for the Shatter. Ladder. Reinhardt able to find Vexite regardless. Oh my god, here. Oh, Vexite. Just complete cleanup here from the Spire. Wait, they got the Shatter off. It looked like we're Paranoia as they start to come back in. Going for the Shatter, though. Finally able to find it. There we go. I think there was a... oh my god. There was a couple ultimates negated in that, but still kills just going either way. Hard to tell who really has the advantage.
I don't really know if I agree with that.
Ooh, that was an unfortunate Shatter. Vexite optimistic, but finally they take the pin onto Eternal Isle, so it's going to count for them regardless, man. Able to turn nothing into something there. The Shatter didn't quite catch, but able to get the pin off, and now Paranoia's that play there. Get some of that damage through line and, elevated position. Could be high risk, high reward strategy. Purple Kid on the Mercy, able to get 2 kills in that fight. And Aspire 5-6 the way it happened at this point. They finally do in overtime. It starts to drop down. Can anybody get back? They've got a Graviton to stave everybody off. Purple Kid, the closest one. Overtime meter drops. Paranoia going to the rival tier semifinals. Oh my god. What a game for them. And welcome back. What an amazing game between the 6 seed Paranoia toppling Aspire, the 3 seed. And honestly, this game really, really fun to watch. Really solid performance here from Paranoia. And again, like I said, definitely one who kind of counted them out a little bit and thought they wouldn't be able to take down this dominant Aspire side, but showing us that's not really the case. And so we're happy to have Steven12346, the Lucio player and captain for Paranoia here, And man, honestly, obviously it's been 2.5 hours. We appreciate you coming onto the post game. What a game it has been. And can you kind of walk us through? Obviously, you guys won the first map. It looked really good. Then lost the next two, and it started looking a little rough. Forced to draw. Get all the way through to this. Just walk me through your team's kind of highs and lows throughout the entire game.
So we talked about after we won the first map, we knew that our second map was not our best, and the third one just kind of didn't fall our way. We are really good on control points, especially with Paradox on the Bastion. As long as we can kind of get him anywhere near the point, we're usually good to go. So that was good. That we basically said, as long as we can tie that fourth one and get to the fifth map, we're fine. So we were okay with tying. We could not lose, obviously. Was make sure that we do not lose. It's just got to be either a win or a tie, so we can get to the Nepal or whatever it was. I don't even remember now. But to that capture point and control point and kind of set up with the Bastion. We have different players. Obviously, Upgilio, who's one of our projectile players, actually had an emergency, so we had to leave. So it kind of messed up our plans a little bit throughout the maps, because we were kind of holding off on Paradox to play the last couple maps where the Bastion would be mostly used. And so that was kind of just our game plan, was to kind of make it there, because obviously it was going to be a long series. They're a very good team. We're a very good team as well, obviously. Not as good as a season as we wanted. We had some highs, we had some lows. But for the most part, I think everyone, held in together, and we got through it together as a team.
Yeah, definitely showing it. You guys, I felt like as a team, you guys got better as the whole match went on. It felt like in the beginning, you guys attacking was pretty decent well, but it felt like your defense was like struggling a little bit. But as the match went on, it felt like your teamwork kind of came together a little more. You were combining your ultimates more instead of like kind of willy-nilly. Your defense was a lot more solid, and it just felt like you guys got in the motions of things as the match went on.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely come together. We're like a big family, so we started arguing and bickering with each other, especially after the second loss. But that's kind of my job as coach, is to kind of settle everyone down and say, what, it's okay. We can make it through this. We have 5 maps for a reason, and we knew that the last 2 would be our best, including the tiebreaker. So just getting there was our biggest deal and our biggest problem. And as you can see, we all came together. Big family, we all love each other, and we made it happen. So
yeah, for sure. Like, what I'm actually curious about this. So obviously, you're really good on your control. Did you kind of running this Bastion strat a lot? What do you think made it so difficult for Aspire to play against you guys running Bastion?
Well, first off, we won't run Bastion all the time on control. That was just kind of one of those weird situations because Upgilio had to go. But I think the biggest thing for how it worked out tonight was that they could never get to him. So we obviously ran the run, we ran a Zarya. I played Brig instead of my normal Lucio. I also play a lot of Zen, but that was going to be nowhere for what we needed tonight. So basically what we kind of did was put him in a corner, especially on the control points. And Brig watched one way, Ryan and Zarya watched one way, and then just kind of had the Mercy healing. And she did a great job of boosting when she needed and not, and then and that was kind of it. Our Constant did very, very well on the second DPS. I think he goes
Definitely, yeah,
unnoticed a lot, just because of you're attracted to watch the Bastion because that's weird. So I think definitely for him it was huge overall just to get him where we needed him. And then from there, obviously they ran a Lucio almost every map to try to get to the point first. It made it very difficult on us because we didn't want to run three supports with the Lucio Brig, but we definitely wanted to have the Brig to kind of almost play like a goaltender for him. So that's kind of how we did that.
Yeah, for sure, it definitely made sense. It's like you guys made it very expensive to take out the Bastion. Like they had the pretty much hard commit to take out the Bastion.
A lot of resources.
Yeah, with like the way kind of the Bastion was working, for instance, it felt like the only times they really took out Bastion was whether they hard committed to it and sometimes they lost somebody while doing it, or if the Reinhardt was able to get close enough that he could pin to do that like burst, like instant damage.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And we had the burst healing too back, so.
For sure. For sure. So obviously, like, this has been interesting last like week and a half or so for you guys, because you guys were originally tied with Ironclad in both
Right.
map wins, win-loss, and you guys have never had a head-to-heads. You guys actually had to do your head-to-head on Lijiang Tower for five rounds there. How was it going from almost not being in the playoffs to being in the playoffs and then upsetting the third seed and now going to the semifinals?
Well, it feels good, obviously. I think for a big thing for us was as soon as we saw what map it would have been, and it was Lijiang. Well, obviously, you know, control points are our best. We were so confident going into that game. I think we won 3-1, but it was a pretty easy 3-1. Not that they were bad. It was just that is what our best kind of maps are. So it was just, it felt good, and I think just riding that momentum into this is big. Obviously, we need to, you know, practice a little bit on our payload maps and some other things like that. But I think for the most part, we're very confident what we have. Like I said, having Abgelio had to leave was definitely a huge blow, but that just shows how great of a team we are, that we literally can switch up comps mid, you know, session and still get out with a win, especially against a team like Aspire, who are very, very good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I agree. It shows a lot of mental fortitude and adaptability to like be able to make those changes sometimes on the fly, like during this one, and just like push forward, keep calm, not like panic too much. And then it was like this wasn't really a reverse sweep, but it was very close to being kind of a reverse sweep. And that's not an easy thing to do. You can very much in the situations where you're down and the only team only needs to win one thing. But then to be able to come back and take that shows a really strong team. So
right, and I think you know, our biggest goal was getting that tie. I think once we got that tie, we knew that we had done what we needed, and we had all the momentum going after that.
Yeah, I think momentum really started swinging your direction, and yeah, just, you know, going back to obviously Paradox coming in, the flexibility you guys showed, being able to swap on the fly against a very good Aspire team, really strong. I think. You know, I think one school of thought would be it's difficult to not have the bye week like the other playoffs teams did, to kind of rest from a long season and be able to come back in, and then you go and play the wild card immediately. So you really didn't get the same kind of break that the other teams did. I think to some extent, do you think that's an advantage because then you don't really skip a beat and you're able to stay fresh? Or is it, you know, maybe harder that you didn't have that break to be able to kind of work on just your internal things and you had to go right back into competition?
It was definitely harder because our guys were not burnout, but we're getting close. You know, it's the end of the season. There's a lot of stuff that goes on at this time of the kind of year. I guess when you say Overwatch in general. So, you know, the end of the competitive season, the end of this season, we had to play the wild card. We had to, you know, do this. All of our guys are, you know, working constantly to try to, you know, better themselves as players. A lot of our guys put a lot of time in comp. We don't really play as a group a whole lot, but we do play, you know, do a scrim every couple weeks. But we kind of try to keep it as fresh as we can just so we don't get burnout.
Yeah.
So it definitely is. It was definitely hard, you know, hearing that we had to play for that wild card, because it was the simple fact of everyone's, you know, very upset with Overwatch, you know, how it's going. Our main tanks hate the game, you know, all that good stuff. And for them to get on, you know, Vex to get on and play this game is just huge. Because I don't know if you, obviously you guys did. I mean, he is constantly stunned, shattered,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
all of the above, slept. I mean, there's no.
Life of main tank's hard, this meta.
Yeah, there's no winning as a main tank. And that's why I switched Brig to try to help him out a little bit. I tried to do a little bit of that stunning back. It's a big game of chess, of how you want to play it. So it was, you know, it was big. It was definitely difficult to kind of play that game and then come back here. We would have liked the rest, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and we pulled through. So.
Sure. So going now, you've won this map now, which means you now move on to the semifinals, and you actually face my team, the Trash Cans, in the semifinals this upcoming week. What are your thoughts on that game?
Trying to get all your secrets.
Well, yeah.
Well, we're gonna try and get
Well,
the most
I will
points.
say that
and-
you'll probably not see anything of what we ran tonight.
Okay,
It'll be
okay.
probably completely different. Not just
running this
tell you
down.
that because that's your team, but and I'm not gonna tell you what we play, but it'll definitely be different. You won't see Bastion every map. You won't see the Brig every map. You'll see a little bit of everything. But having Obelio in the game just gives us a different aspect. You probably will see Paradox. He probably won't play Bastion as much. He plays a little bit of Widow. As you guys saw a little bit tonight,
Mhm.
he's
Awesome,
actually
the
very
Widow.
good on Widow.
Yeah, really turned the fight in
and
some of those Horizon matches.
right.
hugely influential.
I mean, he if they have Pharmacy, he picked both of them out of the sky. We unfortunately still lost the fight. They had a pretty good grab and then followed up on it. But I mean, we have different things. The Bastion isn't just what all he plays. I think he's probably the best Bastion I've seen personally, if not the best on console. But that doesn't mean that he has to play it every map. We only played it tonight because they just struggled so hard with countering, and it's if it's not
Absolutely.
broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, you find something that works, keep using it until it doesn't.
Right. So, and we just kept going and going and going with it, and we wrote it out. But I think for next week when we play you guys, you'll see a lot of different things. I haven't even looked at the map pools yet, but you'll see some different people. I might bring in another support that we have. There's different things that we might work around. So.
The maps for next week are Rialto, Oasis, Hollywood, Lijiang, Dorado, and if it is absolutely needed, Ilios.
Cool. So so you'll never know what we'll throw at you. That's what's so good about this team. We have a little bit of a larger roster. We have 2 off tanks. One plays Zarya very well. One plays Diva very well. The Diva player couldn't be here tonight. But we have different things we can run, so it's definitely exciting as a coach. It's also very tough as a coach, because who do you put in? What comp do you want to run? If it's something that you could run dive or you could run Zarya, which ones do you put in? Because you could kind of run either one, and it's tough. So, but I do like our flexibility as a team, and it's definitely been huge for us down the line.
Absolutely, I look forward to our game this week. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely looking forward to that one. Make sure you guys are in the Discord so you know when these semifinal games are happening. The Carbon and Champion tiers will join next week as well. So a full slate of semifinal games coming right up. Really excited for that one. But again, thanks, Steven, for joining us on the post game and kind of getting some of your perspective. Really solid matchup. Congratulations on the win. And really looking forward to this Trash Cans Paranoia game in the semifinals.
Hold on, can you? I'm so sorry. Can you repeat everything you just said? My controller died.
That's terrible.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
just
I've been playing this
congratulations
game
on your
too
win.
long today, man. It killed my batteries.
That's totally fair. Completely understandable. It was pretty lengthy, but just congratulations on the game. We're excited for your matchup with the Trash Cans, and thank you for coming on the post game, man. Really appreciate the time. After a
I
really
appreciate
long
you guys
series.
having me. Yeah. So if you guys need anything else, let me know. I appreciate you guys having us and commentating all the games, and you guys do a great job, and I know our players really look forward to watching them after. It's always good to have those and have the commentary. It's awesome. So I really appreciate it.
I'm blushing.
No problem.
Sounds good.
Blushing. All right, guys. Well, I
Yeah, yeah.
appreciate it, and we'll see you next week, Head Rimmer.
Sounds good.
Absolutely, see you then.
Thanks, Steven.
All
Really
right, see you
appreciate
guys.
it. Yeah, just
All right, we just hung up on him.
we did, apparently I guess so. Just kicked him out. But again, thanks to Paranoia for taking the time. Aspire season is here. Tough loss, but man, just a spectacular series. If you're gonna go out with a bang, and that step off the point is gonna haunt your dreams. But man, I'm so excited for the semifinal games. Guys, don't miss the shows early next week. We got the breakdown 9:30 Eastern on Tuesday. We'll be breaking down all of these quarterfinal games, then looking ahead to the semifinal slate and the CGL happy hour Wednesdays 8 p.m. Eastern. Actually, I think it's going to be right before the breakdown this week because of some conflicts. So the hour before the breakdown, happy hour, and then right after that, all the news, analysis, and highlights you could possibly want. Really excited for that. November 3rd, the charity stream coming up. And also make sure you get involved with that. We've got a good schedule of events we're looking to do, and just all the proceeds support a good cause go to the children's hospitals We'll have more information about that in the Discord as well, so make sure you get involved. I think that's just about it for us, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it is.
Oh,
Guessing
also,
it's-
quick reminder.
Ooh.
A quick reminder. There was a lot of really cool plays in this game. If you've seen any you think really deserve some recognition, we do have our top plays of the week that we do on that weekly breakdown. So clip it, send it to us. There's a link to the form submission in the Information Hub channel in our Discord. Just send it out to us. We'd love to see and rank these top plays. And we think everybody else needs and deserves to see them as well. So if you saw anything that was really cool in this game, or you did it, please submit them.
Let's get those top plays into us. Probably by Monday, we'll get them all ranks and everything. Man, the top plays. There's so many good plays in this one. Honestly, I don't know how to decide.
Oh, I know.
It should be good. Anyway, Headhammer, really appreciate you casting with me, man. This is a great game. Thank you for taking the time. Congratulations again to Paranoia. And yeah, so for everybody here at the Console Gaming League, I'm Salt and Pepper. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.